Star Dragon acted like they trusted him, but the phone they gave him was hiding a satellite tracking device. Han Xiao calmly pulled it out without a single second of hesitation. Now, the Germinal organization's entire focus has been successfully lured over to the Star Dragon Empire. He crushed the device under his boot, cutting off any way back. There was no reason to return to Star Dragon anymore. He pulled up his notification panel. The 94-day countdown for the open beta had started. The ticking clock was exactly the kind of pressure he needed to push himself. 3 months left until the beta starts. This planet is a gold mine of quests. I need to level up fast and start hoarding some serious resources. I have to build up my stash. Han Xiao pulled something out of his steel bag, and a set of artificial wings snapped open. He had enough to get through the early stages. Time to go. Without even a hint of hesitation, Han Xiao leaped off the edge of the cliff and did not look back. His hair whipped in the wind as he enjoyed a moment of peace while falling through the air. The world was finally wide open. When you have skills, you can find a home anywhere. Meanwhile, inside the Star Dragon conference room, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Gu Hai sighed, hardly wanting to believe the report in front of him. Han Xiao really caused a mess. Thank God there is no evidence or the Hezla people would be out for blood. Longwei sat next to him, looking way more excited than anyone else. Honestly, I think the kid did a pretty amazing job. Lu Wang, who was running the meeting, quickly brought the room back to order. He turned to his subordinates and asked the big question one more time. So we still have no idea where Han Xiao is. Clutter was terrified and could not even make eye contact with his boss. That is correct. We have been tracking him using the satellite device hidden inside his phone this entire time. But the signal went dead 24 hours ago. He probably found it and ripped it out. The guy checked his phone for more info and mentioned he would ask the rest of the team. Under Lu Wang's intense stare, Clutter did not dare mess around. He got serious and made the call. Hey, Lin Yao, did Han Xiao get in touch with you guys? Even though he was confused, the guy answered. Huh. Yeah, he actually reached out to me this morning. Those words were like a lifeline for his failing career. What did he say exactly? Lin Yao started thinking back to the conversation they had earlier. The whole room held its breath, waiting to hear every single word from the phone. Brother Xiao said he was heading out to avoid all this heat. Elder Xiao is smelling something fishy about his true intentions. Is he really just taking out one high-ranking official from Hai Xia? Does he think we can't protect him, or what? Not just the old man, even Feng Han is scratching his head. Is he laying low, or is this just some lame excuse to bail on us and run away? The meeting secretary looks up Han Xiao's profile in the database. His online bounty just got a massive update. He panicked, spinning his laptop around to confirm this absolutely insane reality right now. The bounty shot up to 5 million. 5 times the original Gu Hui stands up totally shocked. What? Jacking up the bounty now has everything to do with the Germinal organization. How could they know? Do we have a mole? A heavy silence hangs over the room until Lu Wang finally breaks it and starts to walk out. The chairman tries to make sense of the kid's move. If he is running from the Germinal, it actually makes sense. Keep his special agent status active for now, but lock down all info on his whereabouts immediately. A deep voice cuts through the air with a direct order. Send a squad. Find him first, then talk. Welcome to Shenfeng City in Hai Xia, a dreamy coastal paradise for the filthy rich. Waves crash everywhere, while Han Xiao stares into the distance from a balcony. He thinks to himself there is still so much to do before the beta test goes live in 3 months. While grabbing a bite, Han Xiao's mind is racing through everything that just went down lately. Step 1 is snatching those hidden quests before other players. The rewards are rare skills and crazy talents. He pours a glass of wine to celebrate the good life. Luckily, I remember how most of these missions work. The way the wine catches the light gives him a moment of peace in this chaotic world. Next, I need to secure a steady supply chain while doing quests. Between crafting gear for experience and that Pharrell Black card he scored from selling those folding blade blueprints, sourcing supplies in the short term is no problem at all. The wine's sweet aroma hits his genius brain, reminding him that he still needs to find some time to crush the Germinal organization. He looks like he is just vibing, but his head is full of schemes no one else sees. The most important part is jacking up the quest reward limits. That way players will actually want to work for me once the beta launches. He sets the glass down. Dinner is over and a brand new journey is just getting started. The most effective way to pump up those rewards is by building legendary points. Right now my fame is 0, but if I play my cards right, 3 months is plenty of time to rank up. The Farrell branch in Shenfeng looks like a modern building wrapped in a classic European style. Han Xiao strolls up to the front desk in the middle of the lobby. He drops a credit card and a shopping list on the counter. Get me all these materials on the list. Must be nice having deep pockets. After stacking cash back in Star Dragon, spending money on gear does not hurt so much anymore. Anton greets him with a professional smile. That is 100,000. With your discount, make it 80,000. We will send those to your room shortly. Han Xiao is just vibing now. Being rich is the best. He didn't come to Pharrell just for small stuff like that. I also want a Blood Pact Society credential from that dark web organization, he says coolly. For those who don't know, it is the underworld's neutral intelligence hub. Hearing that request makes Anton take a much closer look at the guy standing there. Rare items cost more, obviously. 200,000 is a steep price, but for him, it is nothing. The secret business feels like something straight out of John Wick. The Blood Pact is a group of assassins for hire. With this proof, you can become a contracted killer. Players usually just call it the Assassins Union. System update. You have unlocked the Blood Pact Society faction. Reputation cold 0 out of 300. C-rank assassin, Shenfeng City, Vitalia Hotel. Han Xiao's weird moves finally start to make some sense. To earn legendary points, the easiest shortcut is getting your name on those leaderboards. He watches the staff bow to VIPs and thinks about the top ranks of the Assassins Union. He steps inside the hotel feeling a rush of excitement he can't quite explain. This massive hotel hides a dangerous world behind its fancy walls. Vitalia has branches in every major city. The dark web is the big boss behind it all. Bai Hong looks up from the desk. Sorry, no rooms. It is a world with its own rules. Civilians without the right credentials can never stay here. He knows exactly how this place works. Oh, is that so? He flashed his identification coin and told Bai Hong to look closely or just check it again. Decades on the job meant he knew exactly what it was. He stared at the kid, totally caught between doubt and shock. But hotel policy isn't up for debate. Your room is this way, sir. Please just follow me. The elevator dinged at a massive suite. Bai Hong led the way respectfully, asking him to step over here and register his information. He headed over to the desk and started rummaging through the drawers for something. He pulled out a form and slid it across the table. Fill this out and you will also need a code name. He didn't hesitate. Observer and evaluator for the Qin Empire Star Cluster Unit 9527. The old man stood there looking totally confused. That is a mouthful. Any chance we can shorten that a little bit? Han Xiao gave a sly grin and whispered one word, black. But Bai Hong didn't just agree to it immediately. Sorry, that name is already taken. How about Mr. Black instead? He gave a quick nod of approval. Once the paperwork was finished, the old man spoke up. All right, Mr. Black, you are officially a trainee assassin now. Your file is empty. You need to finish missions to reach Scorpion rank. He explained while looking up the target data. You can take public bounties or private jobs. We just take a 5% middleman fee from the total reward. He handed over a tablet. Take a look at this list of bounties and see if anything looks good to you. Han Xiao grabbed the device and started scrolling, looking dead serious as he scanned the data. Suddenly, something caught his eye. 2 specific mission categories popped up on the screen. Target 0, $5 million dead or alive. Location is the Western capital on Dragon Planet. Target Wang Defu. Capture him alive for $2 million. Man, I had no idea my own bounty was that high. He smirked to himself. Those guys are still chasing ghosts in the Western capital. Good luck with that. Before he could celebrate, Bai Hong interrupted. Mr. Black, a job came in for $100,000. That is not much. It is probably some cheapskate who cannot afford a real pro and wants to test a rookie. But Han Xiao shrugged it off. Fine. A cheap mission probably won't be much of a headache anyway. He crossed his arms with a confident look. All right, I will take the job. The old man didn't waste any time. Great, I will set up a meeting between you and the client. Cut to a fancy building on the main strip. Han Xiao was sitting inside reading the mission file out loud. Target is Yuju, Shenfeng City. 20 guards. Honestly, the pay for this is kind of a joke. Sun Tui, the client, acted all humble while pouring him water. I'm sorry, money is just really tight right now. It was pathetic to watch. Han Xiao stood up and cut him off. I will do it. Just wait here. The system dinged. You have accepted the E-rank assassination quest from Sun Tui. Reward 25,000 experience. Sun Tui finally relaxed his face and let out a huge sigh of relief. Thank God. How many days should I expect this to take? Han Xiao just gave him a cold, indifferent look. He will be dead before you finish your lunch. Then he turned around and walked straight out the door. Sun T watched him leave, feeling pretty skeptical. Can a kid that confident really be trusted? Suddenly a rough hand gripped his shoulder. Hey there, boss Trin. Sun Tui spun around in a panic. He looked terrified. It was Lon, a guy with a face full of scars and a really nasty reputation. I changed my mind. I am short on cash, so I will take that job you offered before. Someone already took the contract. Lon did not get angry, though. He just waved him off. No big deal. Hit me up next time you need something. Sun Tui just stood there nodding his head. Then Lon's phone buzzed. Yo, boss Knack. The voice on the other end asked if he was free for a job. He grinned. Yeah, I am bored out of my mind. The voice said the target info was already sent. Lon checked the file and froze. The target was Sun Tui. Talk about a crazy plot twist. His eyes went wide with surprise. No way. It is actually him. He looked back at the man and laughed. What a coincidence. He wants you dead. What do you think about that? Sun Tui just stared into the distance looking worried. Lon gave a wicked smirk. This will be easy. That boss Hutruk was still yapping on his phone, having no clue he was already in an assassin's crosshairs. Fine, I will pay the deposit up front. Right on cue, a gunshot rings out loud enough for Leon to hear. His swagger vanishes, instantly replaced by total shock. He has no clue what just went down. Panicked, he shouts for Boss Knack. But the guy is just a corpse on the pavement now, soaked in blood with his eyes frozen open. The brutal sight leaves Melissa, Henry, and Gren absolutely terrified, shaking in their boots. Hey, where is everyone? Boss Knack was just assassinated. Then the line goes dead, leaving Leon in total silence. He starts sweating. He never expected someone to swoop in and steal his kill like that. Boss Knack had plenty of guards. With Sun Tui's budget, he probably just hired some rookie. He glances at Sun Tui, who is still waiting on someone. Leon's face goes pale. The dude is clearly losing his cool now. I really want to see this rookie who ghosted Boss Knack so cleanly. Who the hell is this guy? Soon the cops swarm the building and a massive crowd starts gathering. People are whispering about a murder, pushing and shoving just to get a glimpse of the crime scene. Some idiots are even taking photos, making the officers furious. Quit pushing. Stay back and put that phone away. This is a restricted area. The whole crowd is buzzing with gossip. In broad daylight, no way the killer escapes. Right then, Han Xiao just strolls past the chaos. He just smirks to himself. With his simulator mask, he is a total ghost. He thinks, keep searching, you guys will never find me. Han Xiao gets back to Sun Tui's place, walks inside, and drops his gear on the table. He sits down and says, it is done. The old man across from him starts cheering. You really finished that fast. No way. Absolute beast. Sun Tui slides a heavy suitcase over. You know what is in here? Your payment. Go ahead and count it. Right then, a system alert pops up. Mission complete. You have earned 25,000 experience points for the job. He does not even check the cash before rushing out. Don't worry about it. I gotta go report in. The old man just laughs and says, fine, take it easy, kid. Han Xiao stops in his tracks. Something feels off. He realizes someone is definitely tailing him. He glances at the next table where Leon is hiding behind a newspaper. Found you. Han Xiao glares and his handsome face turns straight up terrifying. What are you looking at? The cold, savage stare sends a shiver right down his spine. Leon starts shaking, his breath hitching as he loses his cool completely. That bloodlust is insane. This rookie is bad news. Cut back to the headquarters where he first took the job. Inside the back room, Bai Hong's voice rings out. The client just confirmed the job is finished. The old guy is grinning while he types away on his computer. You are officially a Scorpion rank assassin now. Your limits have increased and you get VIP status at every Vitalia hotel across the globe. Bai Hong keeps piling on the praise. I've never seen a rookie become an official member this fast. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do next. Those words definitely give Han Xiao a massive ego boost. Flexing a bit, he asks, so where do I rank on the Darknet Assassin leaderboard? The old man just raises an eyebrow. Only top-tier pros make that list. Right now, you are probably ranked below 1,000. Don't get ahead of yourself, kid. His smile fades instantly as he sinks into deep thought. He remembers the top 10 are only around level 40. Not exactly god tier, but the top 3. Those guys are monsters, nearing the version 1.0 level cap. His face goes serious as he scrolls through his mission history and list of achievements. Even Bai Hong starts to worry. He thinks, did I just crush this kid's confidence or something? He tries to cheer him up. Hey, don't be so down. Judging by your first mission, you have a bright future ahead of you. That sparks his motivation. He decides right then to start stacking up as many mission completions as possible. I need to boost my rank. Let me see what jobs I can take right now. Bai Hong smiles, impressed by his fire. Now that is the spirit. Without hesitating, he hands over the job list. Take your pick. Han Xiao grabs the tablet and starts scrolling through the intel. Bai Hong offers some advice. Since you are still a rookie, I suggest sticking to the easy stuff for now. Ignoring the old man, Han Xiao calmly slides the tablet back. I want to take this one. Bai Hong nods, babbling away about starting slow and steady, but once he actually reads the mission, his eyes nearly pop out of his head. The screen is filled with details about the Rose Armed, a notorious paramilitary organization. Objective: wipe out the chest rot family. Location: the Somali Desert. Date: November 17th, 685. Reward: 3 million aquamarine coins. Difficulty: hard. Mission log. The target, code named Whore, is already dead. Bloody Hands gone ghost. Flowers dead and Freeman is toast. The old man lunges forward, screaming right in his face, spit flying everywhere. Do you even know what a simple mission looks like? Pros are dropping like flies out there, and you, a total rookie, think you can handle it. Han Xiao just rolls his eyes and wipes the spit off his face. Clearly, he's not listening to a word Bai Hong says. Look, I'm gonna drown in your spit way before any enemy touches me. Just set it up already. I know what I'm doing. Bai Hong goes quiet, totally done with this kid. He slams an ancient coin onto the table and a mission slip starts printing out. Grumpily, Bai Hong stamps the form and shoves it into a tube. Look, I've warned you, my conscience is clean now. He tosses the tube into the pneumatic pipe. It zips through the distribution system and disappears into the depths. It hits the desk of a control room clerk. He hammers away at the keyboard until the screen flashes that the data is logged. Suddenly, the room's monitor flickers to life. The Rose-armed mission details have officially been updated in the system. The info pings on the upstairs computer immediately. Bai Hong checks the confirmation and breaks the news. All right, you're all set. The system pings Han Xiao with the alert. You've accepted a rank C bounty hunter contract. Mission tip heading into the Somali desert. It's a mess of rival factions and nomadic tribes. Mercenary squads everywhere. But why is this wasteland so crowded? Something smells fishy. You might want to do some digging. Han Xiao's eyes go wide. Meanwhile, the system screen keeps blinking the objective total annihilation of the Rose mercenaries. Time limit 15 days. Reward 150,000 experience. Special bonus 250,000 plus some mystery loot. Once the details are out, Han Xiao just spins on his heel and walks away. This guy means business. Whoa. A special reward. Okay, this job definitely isn't going to be a walk in the park. Can't get sloppy with desert mercs? Better pimp out my gear before I head out. Scene shifts to the Farian base. Han Xiao mutters to himself while sitting inside. My main class is maxed out and the promotion requirements look easy. No sense wasting experience on trash blueprints just to level up. Experience points are way too hard to come by. I can wait a bit to promote. Meanwhile, the system shows the next mechanic path needs 20 different blueprints unlocked. He's got his new ammo boxes ready. It's a solo mission this time, so no backup to save my skin. I need to diversify my arsenal. If I'm going in alone, I've got to be ready for any crazy situation. A weird machine sits nearby while his desk is buried under intel reports about the Rose mercenary group. He whispers to himself, the Rose mercenaries? An all-female squad hidden deep in the heart of the Somali desert. Scanning the files, Han Xiao starts planning. These girls are packing heat and have their own mechanics. Time for some countermeasures. No time like the present. He hits the button and the screen starts flickering with knowledge fusion data. Basic electromagnetism at level 4 plus basic energy theory at level 3. Basic field induction at level 3. Cost 15,000 experience points. He clicks agree. Damn, not what I wanted. Still, this is gold for a sniper. A pair of high-tech goggles appear. Success, you've crafted the electronic scanning goggles. But we're not done yet. Han Xiao dives back into the system to whip up some more gear. Boom. Another device pops out of the forge. Say hello to the electronic signal jammer. He can't help but cheer. Yes, with this EMP, those desert rats won't even see me coming. The hype dies down and he gets serious again. If I'm fighting in the sand, some landmines might be handy. Time to try a custom build. That means mashing together my skills and existing blueprints to create something totally new. No more waiting. He rolls up his sleeves and starts drilling into the parts by hand. Next up, poison-tipped rounds, beads of sweat are rolling down his forehead. He's locked in. But the system keeps spitting out error messages. Blueprint analysis. Failed over and over again. Suddenly his eyes light up. He looks at the toxic rounds and grins. Finally, mission accomplished. He admires his handiwork with a smirk. Perfect. These custom specs are exactly what I need for this mission. He grabs a nearby case. If I can keep inventing gear like this, the possibilities are endless. He pops the latch. Tucked inside is one seriously high-end sniper rifle. I'm all geared up and ready to roll. He pulls out his phone and calls Antonov Faria. He cuts right to the chase. Hey, it's me. I need to borrow one of your arms transport planes. On the other end, Anton sounds all high and mighty. Look, those planes are for big-time deals only. Even a black gold VIP has to pay to play. Han Xiao's big spender energy literally forced the guy to start taking notes. Fine. How many people are we moving? When just me. Right now. Anton raised an eyebrow, totally confused. Waste of 50,000 bucks. You sure dead serious? I'm sure, I said while rubbing the fresh cash I just made. Cut to the desert. Han Xiao's chopper is buzzing over the rose-armed base. He grabs his binoculars and leans out. Han Xiao looked down. The massive outpost was exactly as scary as the reports described. This place is locked down tight. Direct attacks are sneaking in. Forget it. Time to bait the trap. Land nearby, then get an off-road vehicle ready for me. Anton was all over it. Sure thing, I'll get someone to prepare it. There's a Faria base nearby. I've got business. The chopper landed shortly after. He wished him luck. On the ground, a whole squad of cars was tearing down the road, kicking up dust. A voice crackled from the lead car. Dorothy, any luck today? Searched sectors E4, E5, and D4. Still no sign of Feronia. Had a run-in with Gordon's crew. That's Dorothy the Rose, armed instructor. Winley and Sis are gone. Misa started sobbing. We've lost so many people for this mission already. What even is Feronia? Is it really worth all these lives? Jess felt the sting, too. She put her wrinkled hand on her shoulder and lectured her. A rich nation once stood here before the war. Legends say a million-year-old ruin is hidden in the sand holding a treasure that controls the entire desert. Sayan told the sad story as the convoy rolled on. Everyone wants that Feronia. We're just wandering mercenaries working for them. Outside, the sunset made the ruins look even bleaker. We hunt Feronia for them. They give us food and keep our families safe. This is our only hope? Little did they know, Han Xiao's ambush was already set. He dusted his hands off, looking totally unfazed. He spotted the rose-armed convoy. The prey was almost home. He grabbed his sniper rifle and ducked behind a rock. The girls arrived. As they drove over the EMP, it sensed them. A massive energy net swallowed the convoy. It happened so fast they all panicked. We're under attack. It's an EMP. Dorothy was sweating bullets. Gordon's men. Strange. They usually don't push this hard. Sensing the danger, she grabbed her hammer. Team, move out and engage. Han Xiao aimed and fired. Dozens of gas traps sat in the dirt. One perfect shot hit a canister, sending toxic fumes everywhere amidst red sparks. The other traps triggered. Toxic gas filled the air. The Rose-armed crew struggled. Someone yelled about the gas. Nina felt her head spinning. Too dizzy. Can't walk. She hit the dirt. She was out cold. Wake up, Nina? Someone screamed. Soon almost everyone was down. Dorothy was beyond pissed and totally heartbroken. More shots rang out. She stared into the distance and realized something. By tracking the bullet paths, she pinpointed exactly where the sniper was. Sniper fire. Dorothy rallied the survivors. Don't just sit here, go kill him. A rain of lead followed. Only a few got lucky. Dorothy gritted her teeth and charged the sniper's nest with her weapon ready. Amending you, Han Xiao ducked behind a giant rock and pulled out a handgun. Dorothy hoists her weapon and leaps into the air. Suddenly, she spots something that catches her totally off guard. She takes a massive swing with her axe, but Han Xiao effortlessly slips away like he had already calculated every move. He levels his gun at her. That bullet should have pierced her heart, but Dorothy is no rookie. She twists her body and takes the hit on her arm. She is bleeding a bit, but she just flashes a smug little grin. Now she has her barrel pointed right at the guy who iced her partner. Staring down that black hole, Han Xiao starts breaking a sweat. Dorothy thinks she has already won and starts trash-talking. At this range, I do not care who you are basically dead meat. With one pull of the trigger, brass casings hit the floor while a hail of lead flies straight for Han Xiao. But here's the weird part. Even though every single bullet hits him square in the chest, he does not even flinch. Watching him stand tall after eating a face full of lead, Dorothy's eyes go wide with total shock. How is this even possible? Turns out his magnetic armor blocked every single shot, leaving Han Xiao totally fine. He just gives her a pitying smirk for being so incredibly stupid. The tables have turned. Now he is the hunter and his gun is locked onto his brand new prey. He thinks to himself, most martial artists can easily shut down a sniper in close quarters combat. No doubt about that one. The gun barks and sparks fly everywhere. Dorothy collapses as her fresh blood sprays out like bright red rose petals. It is tragically beautiful. Honestly, your average sniper is pretty much a total pushover when it comes to close quarters combat. A system notification pops up. You killed level 25 Dorothy and earned 7,500 experience points. His thoughts pause for a second. Han Xiao looks out at the horizon, feeling himself a bit. But hey, I am not your average sniper. A crowd gathers into the empty lot out front. In front of them are a bunch of bodies laid out on white sheets. After checking the remains, someone reports back that most of these guys were taken out by a single perfectly aimed bullet wound. Lathan, the leader of the Rose-Armed, breaks it down. This ambush was likely a one-man job, a sniper. Based on her years of experience, she guesses it is another bounty hunter looking for a payday. She quickly dials a familiar number. The call connects and Lathan snaps, another assassin showed up and we have already lost over 20 people. Send more backup to handle this. Once she hangs up, she gives a nasty smirk, mocking the poor soul who is next. That idiot does not know what he's getting into. Now you are the prey. Over at a lonely factory, a helicopter suddenly appears and someone steps out. 3 guys step off the chopper. The lead assassin, nicknamed Five, demands to know what the current situation is. 2 assassins, Ace and Nine, listen with serious faces. Lathan bows respectfully and reports that their enemy is a sniper who came fully prepared. Judging by the tire tracks left in the sand, someone else adds that the killer headed southeast, where there are 3 different factions and a Farian Corporation outpost nearby. Suli, a petite girl, and the Rose-Armed mechanic joins the conversation and speaks up. There are landmine fragments scattered at the scene. This guy clearly knows exactly how we operate. He planned this ambush. The mines he used are a new type, and the outer casing is made from Farian Corporation materials. It looks like they analyzed the design from the fragments of those weapons. Ace 3 hears this and thinks it over. Farian is no joke, so we cannot start trouble on their turf. Then he makes a pretty shady suggestion. That sniper is after you girls, so we're going to use you as bait. They're totally pissed, but too scared to say anything back. He just ignores their annoyed looks and keeps right on going with his plan. Next step, you guys head out like normal. We will hide and wait. Once he makes a move, we take him out. With no other choice, Lathan agrees and gives the order. Ghost Fox does exactly what he says and gets moving immediately. Understood. Night falls at the Farian base. After digging through a stack of files, Han Xiao uncovers a shocking truth. Turns out the Rose-Armed has some serious backing. No wonder so many assassins ended up dead. Anton explains that these desert gangs in Somalia all have secret backers. It is all about political money and running under-the-table assassin training programs to make a profit. The person who hired you is actually from the Charlotte family. Han Xiao keeps reading, feeling curious about one thing. So many people are looking for Feronia. What the heck is it anyway? Just as he finishes speaking, He freezes for a split second, but then quickly takes a sip of his coffee like he's trying to swallow the truth. I do not know. But Han Xiao can tell he is hiding something. Yeah, right, like he does not know. Feronia is definitely hiding a major secret. Maybe the hidden reward for this mission is tied to it. Setting that aside, Han Xiao gets back to business. If they have backup, they will definitely send in some heavy reinforcements. Looks like this mission is getting tough. What now? He looks at Anton and says, I need to shoot, but I do not have a driver. How about you be my personal driver? He gave him a side eye and hit him with a reality check. Why should your mission be my problem? Why would I help? This was the moment Han Xiao's silver tongue was made for. He went full gear to talk him into it. Why stay cooped up? Look isn't getting out to see the world way better. Anton looked totally lost. A road trip Han Xiao kept selling the dream with his typical delusions. Hey, lose the attitude, okay. Who knows? You might see a mirage. Lakes, mountains, the desert is huge, but if you're sincere, you'll find some magic. He was speechless. Like we aren't even cool like that. Still, he kept that sarcastic energy. Han Xiao crossed his arms and dropped the ultimate line. I'm literally giving you a chance to be my friend. Anton just stirred his coffee in silence. Then he smirked and said his terms. If I'm joining this mission, I want my cut. Duh, obviously, he agreed instantly. Does 5% of the reward sound good? But the price wasn't right. Way too low. Drivers get targeted first. I want 20%. Han Xiao immediately got serious about the cash. Why don't you just rob me, total scammer? Anton just smiled back. I am robbing you. Good help was rare. Han Xiao had no choice but to agree. Done deal. Back at the Rose mercenary base, a girl in the surveillance room suddenly turned and started screaming. Target spotted in Zone X, Ace 3 hurried over to the screens. He smirked. Finally, right on cue. The screen showed Han Xiao digging like crazy. He laughed. Still doing the same old tricks, man, what a moron. Ace 3 ordered the decoys to move out. Ghost Fox nodded. Copy that. Meanwhile, you're over here watching through binoculars too. The enemies are moving. Han Xiao ordered his new rookie driver southwest, but he didn't realize they were being tracked. Ace 3 saw his prey and laughed out loud. The target is here. Kill him. Han Xiao's ride sped down the dirt road, kicking up a massive dust storm. He spotted them and fired back. The bullet sparked as it flew straight toward the lead car. The windshield shattered into a spider web. Ghost Fox yelled, he's only got one car on his tail. Suddenly, more vehicles swarmed from 3 different directions. Han Xiao stayed calm. They were trying to surround him. Pathetic. But then he felt it. A bullet almost sent him to the afterlife, but his light armor saved him. However, since the plate was thin, blood was already starting to pour down his forehead. He ignored the pain and yelled, it's an ambush, retreat to the rendezvous point. Anton floored the gas, but his eyes went wide. 2 more cars were blocking their path. There were enemies in front too. Ace 5 saw Han Xiao fall into the trap and smirked. Guess you're dead meat now. He fired first, and then a literal rain of bullets hammered the car. Under that heavy fire, Anton gritted his teeth. He yanked the steering wheel. The car spun around fast, but the bullets kept hitting home. Suddenly, an explosion sent the rear of the car flying up. Both guys inside scrambled to keep their balance. Anton quickly slammed the shifter. The car stabilized and took off while Ace 5 watched itching to give chase. But they were stuck now. Dozens of enemy cars were everywhere. His voice got all arrogant. Nowhere left to run. Anton was seriously sweating now. We're toast. Surrounded on all sides. Han Xiao didn't give up scanning the area for any way out. Luck wasn't totally gone. He spotted a weak point to the south with only 1 car in his way. Only 1 car? He got it. They were avoiding his traps. He could break out here, but he hesitated. Mines. Suddenly, a car covered in front-mounted spikes appeared out of nowhere. Han Xiao's eyes practically popped out of his head. It was an armored SS vehicle with a gunner on the roof. Anton panicked. What is that? We gotta move. Han Xiao made the call. Screw it, let's gamble. Head south. He probably regretted teaming up with this lunatic. You better be right about this path. He spun the wheel, aiming straight for the car to the south. The enemies immediately started closing in. Ace 9 readied his heavy machine gun. You aren't escaping us. Han Xiao wasn't going down without a fight. He fired back. The bullet ripped through the air toward Ace 9. Suddenly, it exploded into a blinding bright flash of light. He clutched his burning eyes, tears streaming down like a faucet. It was finally light out, but the pain was blinding. Trying to blink, he cursed Han Xiao, that low-life scumbag, with everything he had. Without a second thought, Ace 9 started blasting like a maniac. Die, you losers. His ride got swarmed by attackers again. Luckily, Antonov managed to veer south just in time. Ace 3 stayed on their tail, firing shots, and barking orders to hunt them down. A high-stakes chase was in full swing across the dunes. Han Xiao suddenly pointed ahead and yelled to hit the nitro. Anton got the memo and slammed the red button on the dash. A massive surge of energy erupted from the exhaust. The car took off like a literal rocket into the wind. Anton cheered, screaming that they finally made it out. But do not celebrate yet, an S6 car suddenly appeared right on their bumper out of nowhere. Someone shouted that struggling was useless now. Out in the middle of the massive desert, the night sky was crystal clear, showing every single star. Sand clouds swirled in the distance, thick and heavy. Turned out to be a pack of off-roaders tearing each other apart. Han Xiao leaned out of the black car and roared that there was no escape. He held up a remote, smirked, and clicked the button. There was no explosion, just a massive ball of lightning dropping from the sky, trapping the entire fleet inside a glowing electric net. Every car on the road started sputtering and died instantly from the shock. Ace 5, perched on a roof, got zapped by the static too. He groaned, gripping the car's frame tight. Ace 9 poked his head out, totally confused, asking what the hell just happened. Ghost Fox sat in the back of a smoking, broken-down junker and snapped back in frustration. "Our engines are fried!" The radio in her hand just hissed with static. She let out a frustrated scream that echoed through the desert. "The comms are dead too. That is the power of an EMP pulse for you." He saw the enemy panicking and tried to calm things down, saying they only had one armed vehicle left. Suddenly, Law hopped out and popped the hood to check the damage. She stared at the black smoke and sighed, saying all the parts in Dora's car were toasted. Ghost Fox watched the disaster through the glass, breaking into a cold sweat. Deep down, she knew it was a trap. She squeezed her eyes shut, forcing herself to make a move. She leaped from the car, but as she started sprinting, she spotted something weird buried in the sand. In that moment, Ghost Fox felt the Reaper's blade cold against her neck. Her face twisted in pure terror. She kicked it into high gear, screaming for everyone to run because they were in serious trouble. Law just stood there, frozen mouth agape as the others bolted past. From a distance, Han Xiao lined up his sniper rifle and fired. The bullet moved like it was heat-seeking, streaking toward the blue object Ghost Fox had spotted. She looked back and saw the glowing projectile closing in. "Oh crap," she yelled. Without hesitation, she gritted her teeth and dove for cover. The shot hit the mark, perfectly shattering the glass casing on impact. The high-speed impact sparked a brilliant chemical reaction. Flames erupted everywhere as thick black smoke began to pour out. In a heartbeat, the small pop turned into a massive fireball. The blast expanded like a balloon, and Ghost Fox barely managed to bury herself in the sand. The power of the explosion did not stop there, though. The pressure sent sand flying up like a massive solid pillar, with rolling flames resting on top, forming a giant mushroom cloud of fire. The off-road trucks were tossed into the air and scattered across the sand like broken toys. Han Xiao watched his handiwork from above. He held his rifle, watching the wall of fire grow. The heat wave was so intense it made his hair whip around his face. He took a puff of his cigarette and asked without looking back, "You surprised Anton still looked sharp in his suit?" Hailong replied that it had been a long time since he had seen something so beautiful. Han Xiao tucked his gun away and checked his screen. "Then just sit back and enjoy the show." He watched the system alerts scroll by and could not help but whistle. "That's a lot of experience. You gained 5,600 points. You gained another 5,600 points. You killed 3 level 31 targets, gaining 11,000 experience. You killed 5 level 30 targets, gaining 10,000 experience. You killed 9 level 29 enemies, gaining 9,800 experience." He did a victory dance while laughing at their names. 3, 5, and 9. What kind of weird names are these? Suddenly, he leaned into the screen, eyes darting back and forth. Wait a second. The kill feed seems to be missing one person who definitely showed up in the damage reports. Han Xiao's guard went up immediately. He put his hand on his pocket and stared intensely in one direction. Under the sand, something was tunneling toward them at incredibly high speed. He rested his finger on his pistol's trigger, ready to catch them red-handed. Out of nowhere, a hand holding a blade burst from the sand. Ghost Fox rose like a zombie from the grave, launching into the air. She lunged toward Anton's back while he was still distractedly rubbing his chin, swinging her twin blades for a lethal strike. But just as the blades reached his neck, he tilted his head aside like he had eyes in the back of his skull. Anton narrowed his eyes, giving a sharp look over his shoulder before grabbing Ghost Fox's wrist in an iron grip. She stood there, stunned, eyes wide and jaw dropped. Anton was not about to let her get all emotional on him. He snatched her up with both hands, squeezing so hard that Demon Fox dropped her dagger instantly. He finished the move with a massive roar, hurling her away like an Olympic shot putter. Honestly, his form was way better than those pro athletes. The fox was terrified, ears pinned back and eyes wide. Han Xiao just smirked, raised his piece, and aimed right at her head without even blinking, cold-blooded. A single shot rang out, hitting her dead in the heart. Just like that, she was totally done for. Her body hit the dirt and the system pinged. Level 29 Fox down. That is 9,400 experience points in the bag. Easy money. Han Xiao looked at his smoking gun and grinned. Finally, I caught the one that almost got away. No more running for you. Han Xiao stood with Anton by his badass ride, surrounded by the smoldering wrecks of those off-road vehicles. Everything was still on fire. Anton lit a smoke and watched Han Xiao messing with his tools. He asked him, "So what is the play now? What is next?" Without even looking up, he just kept working. Time to keep this momentum going and hit the rose-armed base. We are moving. They are hurting bad right now. Their enemies are definitely going to take this chance to swoop in for a sneak attack. It is obvious. I just need to sit back and reap the rewards. Anton looked surprised, his eyes scanning Han Xiao like he was some kind of puzzle. He had to double-check. He asked him straight up if every single bit of this was actually part of his master plan. Han Xiao finally looked him in the eye and laughed. Come on, how could I have predicted all that I am not psychic? They thought I only had one trap ready, but I actually like having plenty of options. Anton just shrugged and dropped his cigarette butt into the dirt. He gave a quick nod. Great fight, kid. This was definitely worth it. I am heading out, so good luck with your next move. If you need anything else, the Farian group has your back. They both got what they wanted, so they parted ways on good terms. Han Xiao kept tearing across the massive desert on his bike under the cover of night. Just him and the open road. He sat back puffing on a smoke and spotted something interesting ahead. Not too far away, another massive gunfight was already popping off. Things were getting wild. He watched the chaos unfold. Wow, they started early. He threw his fist up, signaling his crew. All right, boys, let is move in. He gripped his rifle and pushed forward, shouting to his team to keep up the pressure. Let is drive these punks right out of the desert. Fight now is in the trenches spraying bullets and screaming. Not on my watch, you absolute losers. But the other side had long-range cannons mounted on their roofs. Those shells were packing some serious heat. A shell slammed right into the trench, blowing everyone sky high. In less than a minute, Phi Now and her whole crew were officially toast. They were gone just like that. A literal wall of lead just kept coming from the enemy. Artillery shells were slamming right into the command center. Everything was going up in flames. Inside, Suli was panicking. She told Lathan they were out of people and the defense was collapsing. The enemy was right on top of them. Lathan closed her eyes. The Rose base is at its breaking point. Every other faction out here is going to treat us like a target practice to buy themselves some more time. She snapped her eyes open and started barking out orders. Grab 5 people. We are heading out through the secret tunnel. Watching her defenses crumble through the window, Lathan finally made the painful call to ditch the base. In an instant, the entire base was leveled. Nothing left but smoking ruins. Bodies were scattered everywhere in the dust. Han Xiao finally rolled up, looking pretty serious as he scanned the wreckage. Still no notification that the mission was over. Looks like the big shots managed to escape. He grabbed his drone from the ride, letting it hover in the air like it was waiting for a command. Han Xiao lit another smoke and blew a massive cloud toward the controller. He sent the drone buzzing through the rocky hills, following the dusty trail winding along the base of the mountains. A second later, his eyes lit up. He stared at the screen and gave a satisfied little smirk. Gotcha. The drone feed was crystal clear. There was a car tearing down a winding road up in the mountains. That yellow car was blended right into the sand, trying to sneak away. Inside, Lathan was staring out the window, looking completely stressed out. We will hit the city center soon. Then, all we have to do is... She didn't even finish before the car swerved from a nearby explosion. She leaned out the window and screamed. Did they seriously catch us already? But when she saw who it was, her jaw dropped in pure terror. A massive off-road beast was roaring up behind them with a cannon on the roof, still spitting out fire and lead. She screamed in total shock. It is that SSS beast! Lathan was fuming, slamming her fist against the car. This guy is literally relentless. She couldn't believe it and looked back one more time. That crazy assassin was still coming in that SSS monster. Even though she was totally frozen in fear, the yellow car kept taking heavy hits. The shells just kept coming like they had infinite ammo. Lathan collapsed on the floor, coughing from the smoke. We gotta move. We cannot stand up to the firepower of that SSS monster. Knowing your enemy is one thing, but this guy was straight up determined to bury her. That yellow car was dodging a literal hail of bullets. You either gotta pity its luck, or admire the fact that this junker was still moving through all that metal. Bai and the old lady were trudging through the dunes nearby. When the kid saw the high-speed chase, he started cheering like it was a movie. Whoa, they're fighting! Sion grabbed the kid by his head with her wrinkled hands and gave him a sharp warning. Quit watching the show. Bullets do not have eyes, kid. I have told you 1,000 times. We just need to focus on finding Feronia. Han Xiao was impressed while driving. Hey, not a bad runner. Right then, he unleashed another high-altitude volley of lead toward the target. Shells rained down, kicking up sand everywhere, but that yellow car kept weaving through the chaos like a stubborn cockroach. That last blast was a beast. It ripped a massive crater into the desert floor, and the surrounding sand started pouring in like a waterfall. Suddenly, it was like the hole had an engine. It started roaring and sucking in everything nearby, forming a massive sand vortex. The whirlpool kept growing, swallowing more sand by the second. Then right from the center of the pit, a blinding golden light shot out. Sion gripped Bai's shoulder as the group stared down at the epic sight. Everyone just stood there with their jaws on the floor. She started to say something, but back in the car, Han Xiao was just as stunned, staring at the system notification popping up. You have discovered the hidden location of Feronia 08. You earned 1,000 exploration experience points. Hidden objective complete. The armed rose hunt is finished. He was absolutely stoked. This kind of max level luck was honestly unreal. No way. I just took a random shot and found this. But he didn't have time to explore yet. He had to keep those bullets flying. Han Xiao slammed the gear shifter forward, running the numbers on this mission. That armed Rose bounty was the priority. The car surged past the deep crater while Sion and her crew kept up their messy hunt. The old car tore through the night. Watching the dust clouds fade as the target pulled away, Han Xiao was getting pissed because they were almost out of sight. Damn it, they are getting away. This series ride is moving way too slow. He thought for a split second and made his move. Since you guys want to play chicken, he said, pulling out a cylindrical device with a button. He hit the switch without hesitating, and a massive surge of electricity exploded out from Han Xiao's car in every direction. The electric pulse slammed right into the wheels of the car ahead of him. Sui turned around in a panic, seeing the EMP. She couldn't believe he would go this far. The guy is insane for trying to wreck the series just to stop us. Han Xiao pulled his gun and slammed a fresh mag in. Let's go! Standing tall on the roof, with sparks dancing around him like a total warrior, he was ready to finish this. Lathan saw his cocky attitude and gritted her teeth in pure rage. She decided to end the talk and fight, launching herself high into the air. Magnetic shields caught her every step. She charged at Han Xiao like a bullet flying straight out of a barrel on a death wish. With a cold stare, Han Xiao opened fire, sending several rounds straight at Lathan. The bullet screamed toward her too fast to dodge, but she didn't plan on moving anyway. She just raised her hand and summoned a shield right in front of her. The rounds pinged off her barrier. It was crazy how tough that shield was, literally flattening the bullets on impact. Lathan brushed the flattened lead into the sand and kept charging straight for Han Xiao. Seeing her powers in action, he knew this was going to be a grind. A force field user is a massive pain to deal with. Her field could stop bullets with ease. Han Xiao leaped into the air, using that split second to swap magazines because regular rounds weren't going to do a single thing. He gritted his teeth and fired off another shot. Lathan's shield caught the blue bullet too, but she instantly realized that something was very wrong. Suddenly, the bullet burst right in her face, filling the air with a thick green smoke that made her head spin. What kind of poison ammo is this? Han Xiao scrambled back to put some distance between them. He checked his system log. Your HIM bullet hit. Lathan level 30. You have dealt 12 points of damage to Lathan. Damage reduction calculated. After analyzing the data for a few seconds, he found her weakness. Her powers can't control gas, so he could just wear her down. Lathan didn't hesitate. She pushed through the shield, coughing from the poison gas, and sprinted toward him with everything she had. But her body was failing. Sweat poured off her like rain, and she knew she had to close the gap fast. Seeing her close in, Han Xiao fired another shot and leaped back. Oh crap, she's here. She channeled all her power into her palm and unleashed a blast of pure energy right at him. Han Xiao raised his blade against the force field, barely holding on as he was blasted backward. Lathan was fed up and wanted to end this fight now. If you want to die, fine. She used her field to launch herself up, focusing her energy into her arm until it formed a razor-sharp blade. Fine, have it your way, she shouts, slashing a blade toward Han Xiao. Force field. Slash. He barely dodges it with lightning reflexes. Han Xiao fires right back. A palm blast shattering the concrete beneath them. Talk about a sliding shot. Things are getting heated. Even Han Xiao is starting to feel the burn. No choice now but to go head-to-head. He pumps power into his tightened arm, clenches his fist, and slams it into Lathan's energy shield. But the shield doesn't budge. She just laughs in his face. Man, your close-quarters combat is straight-up trash. Lathan winds up and delivers a massive haymaker right to Han Xiao's chest. She thinks she's already won. She grins like a villain. Game over, kid. Nobody walks away after taking my force field shock to the face. But Lathan is gassed too. She's doubled over, breathing hard with a nasty bloody gash across her cheek. She grits her teeth, hissing his name through the pain. Wiping blood away, she realizes this guy is a total nightmare to handle. Suli rushes in to help. Hang on, Lathan, I've got your back. She lunges at Han Xiao with a punch that screams through the air. He hops back just in time, so Suli regroups with Lathan. They're teaming up to take him down. But Han Xiao notices something about Suli's style. Those sparks dancing around her hands. He's figured her out. She's a martial artist relying on mechanical gear for close-range brawling. It's a specific mechanic subclass. They build custom weapons to unlock some seriously weird combat abilities. He spots those high-tech gloves crackling with electricity. Yeah, those have to be her main weapons. Pin him down! Lathan barks out the order. They both spring into the air instantly. They're moving so fast, Han Xiao is barely keeping up with them. Lathan focuses her energy. Layers of force field start stacking up around her hands. She unleashes a nasty force field strike. It spins like a freaking tornado, tearing up the ground as it charges straight for Han Xiao. The vortex hits like a spinning blade, throwing Han Xiao high into the air. He's flailing midair, totally off balance. Then Suli swoops in, slamming a ball of pure electricity right where he was standing just a few seconds ago. He pushes his body to the limit to dodge. That was way too close. Covered in sweat, he looks back, and his heart stops. There's nothing left but a massive crater behind him. Suli's handprint is burned right into the center of the pit. This girl is dangerous. Alarm bells are screaming in his head. He turns and bolts to get some distance. soloing her. Yeah, not happening. He barely gets away before Lathan drops from the sky to ambush him. Where are you going? He blocks her kick, but his brain is already cooking up a plan. Han Xiao suddenly swerves to the side. The move completely catches Lathan off guard. Why didn't he counter? Is he actually playing defense now? She glances at Suli, who's ready to pounce. Oh, I see, she says, letting out a creepy laugh. With all her experience, Lathan makes the call. Suli, lock him down. He's terrified of you. Distract him while I find an opening for the kill. Suli doesn't quite get the play, but she trusts her boss. The duo charges in again, totally fearless, coming straight for Han Xiao's throat. Suli leads the charge. Electricity crackles from her palms. Han Xiao manages a slick dodge. But 2-on-1 is a totally rigged game. Lathan jumps in and yells, "Eat this!" Han Xiao can't move fast enough and gets slammed hard by her massive energy shield. The impact sends him flying through the dirt. Han Xiao scrambles to his feet, wiping sweat from his brow. These martial artists are a real pain. Time to stop playing nice. He's determined to win this, so he decides to finally reveal his biggest secret trump card. Massive bolts of energy surge around Han Xiao. His magnetic armor is online. No more playing defense. Now it is his turn to bring the fight to them. His first target, Suli. He's taking her out first. She's completely stunned by the sudden role reversal. Wait, this wasn't the plan, she thinks. Luckily, her reflexes kick in and she barely avoids Han Xiao's blade. She charges up her gloves and delivers a brutal punch straight to his gut. She thinks she's got him. But as the smoke clears, Han Xiao is standing there without a single scratch. He just gives her a cocky smirk. It looks like her punch's energy was absorbed by his tech. Warning, Suli, level 29 hit you for 79 damage. Armor reduction applied. Magnetic armor durability is now at 206. Suli is losing her mind. She's like, what even is that thing? She goes for another swing, but Han Xiao shuts her down. He blocks the hit and strikes her right back. He didn't pull any punches, landing lethal hits until she was literally coughing up blood. Seeing her teammate in serious trouble, Lathan rushed in and delivered a massive kick to Han Xiao's back to save Suli. She clearly put her entire soul into that kick because Han Xiao ended up spitting out 2 big mouthfuls of thick blood. He coughed, blood dripping down his chin, but the dude just stood there with a twisted, creepy grin on his face. Suddenly, Han Xiao raised his blade and drove it straight into Suli's back without a hint of mercy. She collapsed instantly motionless on the dirt as a pool of crimson began to spread everywhere. You have killed Suli, level 29. You gained 11,906 experience points. It all happened so fast that Lathan could only stare frozen in pure horror as Suli died. Once the shock finally wore off, she let out a gut-wrenching scream. Suli. Han Xiao just slowly turned his head to look at Lathan. He flicked the excess blood off his blade and spoke in a low voice, sounding like he already had every little detail under control. Chill out, you are next on the list. The scene went deathly quiet after Suli dropped, with nothing but the desert wind whistling through the sand. After a second to process the tragedy, Lathan snapped and charged like a maniac. I'm going to end you right now. Han Xiao ducked her wild punch, but she instantly formed a glowing shield and slammed it down with enough force to split a man in half. Luckily, he had the reflexes to vault backward and narrowly avoid the impact. She glared up at Han Xiao while he was still airborne, lunging at him again, like she had completely lost her mind and gone feral. Just die already. He fired a shot to the side using the sheer recoil of the blast to propel his body out of harm's way. He barely managed to twist his body and dodge Lathan's blade as it grazed his side, but she was a seasoned warrior. She immediately coiled her leg and channeled all her burning rage for her fallen comrade into a massive kick that landed squarely on Han Xiao's chest. The impact slammed him into the dirt so hard his spine felt like it was going to snap. She was holding nothing back now. Both of them were pushed to their absolute limits of fury. They both had one goal: murder. Let's see what happens first. I drop dead or you finally run out of gas and collapse, lady. Lathan kept coming, completely ignoring the sound of bullets rattling against her glowing magnetic field shield as she pushed forward with everything she had. She leaped high and blasted a beam of pure energy from her palm, creating a literal tornado that tore the earth apart. Once again, Han Xiao managed to spring into the air and avoid the destruction. Being unable to land a single hit on Suli's killer was driving Lathan insane with rage. You are not getting away from me. But just as she prepared to strike again, she realized her energy reserves were hitting 0. She was totally tapped out and vulnerable. Her shield flickered and died. Panic set in as she realized she couldn't hold the field anymore. Watching her crumble, Han Xiao let a smug, victorious grin spread across his face. This is my chance. He didn't waste a second firing a concentrated beam of light directly from his palm. Too exhausted to move, Lathan couldn't dodge. The beam pierced right through her leg, leaving her staring back with eyes full of pure, helpless resentment. Sorry, Suli. I couldn't avenge you. A hail of bullets followed, tearing through Lathan's vital organs one by one until there was nothing left of her. She finally collapsed and stopped moving. A system notification popped up on the screen. You have killed Lathan, level 30. You gained 12,000 experience points. Han Xiao's tightened hand was actually smoking from the heat after firing off so many rounds of powerful attacks. With the brutal fight finally over, he could finally take a breath. Phew. Man, I am glad that is finally dealt with. Suddenly, something caught his eye. Suli's gloves. He walked over and started stripping them off her body. These are actually pretty decent. He had already seen how powerful these things were during the fight. I am taking them. Right then, the system display flickered with new item info. You have received 2 thermoelectric cutter gloves. With his business finished here, Han Xiao started worrying about Feronia and went to go track her down. Following the tracks in the sand, he reached a massive sinkhole that looked exactly like some kind of old abandoned mining site. He carefully made his way down, figuring the others had already headed inside. He kept his eyes peeled, scanning the area as he moved forward. The rock walls were covered in old digging marks, leading deep into the pitch-black underground. He had to flick on his flashlight just to see. Suddenly, he spotted something weird near the tunnel entrance. Wait, what is that? His light cut through the shadows of this forgotten gloomy hole. Han Xiao moved cautiously, squinting at the path ahead. The place was packed with massive chunks of glowing blue crystals embedded in the walls. He stood there deep in thought, staring at a fork in the road in this strange place. He wasn't sure which path to take, left or right. Suddenly, a noise echoed through the dark cavern. It was the sound of people screaming, followed by the frantic thumping of heavy footsteps. A group of panicked people came sprinting out, screaming at the top of their lungs. Mei yelled out, "Run! There is a monster!" Bibi was so terrified he was literally calling for his grandma. Oh, Lord! The whole group scrambled away, bolting down the narrow path of the cave. The rocks above began to crack under the sheer pressure of the beast's power. This is some serious primal energy. Han Xiao covered his ears while running, while he gritted his teeth, his face twisted with worry. Eventually, the group managed to stop. Mei turned to his gasping teammate, trying to catch his breath. "The monster isn't following us." He looked back at them, his voice thick with doubt. "This evil place is definitely not Feronia." Mei started to panic, wondering if this was actually the desert treasure everyone wanted. Before he could even finish his sentence, the old man quickly cut him off to disagree. No way. The desert treasure is supposed to be pure magic, definitely not some kind of hideous monster like that. The crowd bails fast. When Han Xiao doubles back, a kind old dude gives him a heads up. "Hey kid, get lost. Feronia is not here." He eyes the old man totally confused, but remembers the system tip. This place definitely has traces of Feronia all over it. Han Xiao pictures some old rusted equipment and ancient wiring diagrams in his head. Since Planet Aquamarine has zero magic, according to the game rules, this desert treasure is likely just high-tech. He turns around and stares down those 2 dark tunnels behind him. The tunnel is covered in messy footprints and fresh blood stains dried on the ground. Han Xiao thinks based on experience, these pilgrims are like dungeon guides. Usually the right path means there's a monster waiting for the player. He slides his gloves on and starts thinking, is that warning about the right side for real? Or are they just trying to bait me into going left instead? He gears up, looking totally determined. After all, facing the unknown is way scarier than just fighting a bunch of common monsters. In the end, Han Xiao chooses the right. Inside it is just a crusty old warehouse with rusty metal sheets and walls covered in massive cracks. Han Xiao steps inside alone. The floor is littered with severed hands. This place is super creepy and smells like raw metallic blood. Han Xiao pinches his nose and pushes deeper inside. He stops in front of a massive footprint. Looking at the tracks, he is totally blown away. That footprint is huge. Suddenly, a pair of glowing red eyes appears in the shadows. It looks terrifying. Han Xiao senses something is off. He spins around and his jaw hits the floor when he sees the massive thing standing right there. A giant jacked-up monster with massive muscles is staring him down with a very dangerous look in its eyes. Han Xiao pulls his blade and moves fast, getting ready to scrap with experiment number 02. But the beast is just sniffing around like it is looking for something else. Han Xiao covers his face, giving number 02 a totally confused look. Then he quietly sneaks around and slips right behind the massive creature back. I get it now, this monster has really trash eyesight. That is how Han Xiao hides behind a wall and catches his breath. Thank God I brought these night vision goggles with me. Suddenly a sharp claw pokes up from below. He looks down shocked. Under the floor grate, dozens of glowing red eyes are staring right back at him. Han Xiao leans away. Great, there are monsters down there too. Han Xiao bolts. This place is a death trap. He runs into a lab office filled with bottles of weird chemicals. Below him, the eyes of those monsters are still tracking his every move. Han Xiao stops, then creeps forward slowly, keeping his own eyes peeled for any more surprises. And then he hits another surprise that catches him off guard. Right in front of him is a skeleton slumped over a desk in ragged, rotten clothes. Near the chair, there are some papers and a battered notebook. Han Xiao walks over and picks the notebook up. It looks like a personal diary tracking some doctor's secret drug experiments from a long time ago. Near the bottom, he finds a section with some big info about Feronia. His eyes light up the second he reads it. Turns out Feronia is a serum. He rips out the page with the info on it immediately. Han Xiao keeps flipping through the diary. He finds another page dated the 14th of the month. It basically says the head doctor is bailing on this lab, and all the Feronia research papers have already been transferred out. The original files were destroyed, and every last bit of the finished serum was taken away. Reading this, Han Xiao feels a huge wave of disappointment. Dang it, the doctor took the serum. He lets out a heavy sigh and puts the diary back down. Looks like this trip was a total bust. But then his eyes go wide. He sees something, a small box that is actually glowing in the dark. Han Xiao reaches out and touches it. There are a few things inside. He grabs the loot, a big, satisfied grin on his face. Talk about luck. I searched everywhere and found nothing. Then I stumble right into it without even trying. Han Xiao opens the box and looks at the test tubes inside, feeling skeptical. Is this really the serum? Suddenly, a detailed info panel pops up. It basically gives him the rundown on the Feronia serum along with a little side note at the bottom. These are likely the last 3 samples of the Feronia serum in existence. While he is celebrating, heavy and brutal footsteps echo right behind him. Han Xiao spins around in a panic. Crap, number 02 found him. It looks at Han Xiao like it wants to eat him alive, baring its nasty teeth. Number 02 roars, trying to scare him off. It opens its disgusting mouth and swings its arm ready to strike. He watches it closely, then dodges the attack and kicks into combat shooting mode. He lands a solid hit on the beast. Han Xiao grits his teeth and starts spraying a massive hail of bullets right at number 02. It takes a few hits and cannot even fight back. Right in the middle of the scrap, a notification panel pops up. You have dealt 57 damage to Experiment 002. You have now entered combat mode. Based on your current level, you have unlocked the following info. Detailed stats for number 02 begin scrolling across the screen. After checking the stats, he realized this thing was way higher level than him. But it looked like total trash. Time to see if he could actually take it. Number 02 slipped right through Han Xiao's attacks and turned back with a look that screamed murder. It lunged forward, throwing a massive elbow straight into Han Xiao's face. Even though he only took one hit, the impact sent him flying backward. He slammed into the wall, coughing up a mouthful of blood. That hurt like hell. He wiped his chin and glared at number 02 with pure vengeance in his eyes. He launched himself into the air, aiming straight for its weak spot. This was it, the perfect opening he needed. He slipped behind number 02 before it even knew what hit it. Then, he swung his blade, carving a deep gash into its neck. The monster let out a guttural scream. That deep cut really pissed number 02 off. It reached out with a massive hand, grabbing Han Xiao by the shirt. Thanks to some quick reflexes, he wiggled out of its grip. He stared at the monster's mangled head, which was somehow still twitching. Han Xiao was completely blown away. How could this thing's head still be moving after a hit like that? Realizing his blade wasn't enough to finish the job, he decided to switch things up and activate his electric power gloves. Let's see you tank this one. Han Xiao's gloves crackled with raw electricity as he charged back into the fray at full speed, ready to fry this thing. But it counterattacked instantly, forcing him to scramble and dive out of the way. Now he was beyond pissed. He sprang up, rushed number 02, and shoved his hand straight through the middle of its chest. That strike looked like it drained the life out of it, but number 02 just wouldn't stay down. It struggled back up like it was on some crazy drugs. Han Xiao was annoyed, but he had to respect the hustle. This freak just refused to die. So he decided it was time to pull his gun out again. Determined to end this, he unloaded his entire clip into number 02. Breathing heavily and totally exhausted, he watched as the monster finally collapsed for good. A system notification popped up confirming he killed Experiment 02. Not only that, but he racked up some major experience points and combat skills. Reading the message finally let him breathe a sigh of relief. Man, that boss was a real tank. But the celebration didn't last long. Something else came out of nowhere, leaving Han Xiao staring with his jaw on the floor. A massive claw smashed through the iron grate below. Out crawled these giant, aggressive desert corpse worms. It was a total nightmare. Han Xiao didn't stick around. He turned tail and ran. The monsters are out. Retreat outside. It was pitch black with tons of survey trucks and explorers waiting in the dark. One guy grabbed his radio to check in with the team inside. Hey, what is the situation in there? A voice crackled back over the comms. We found footprints up here, and there is a lot of blood. The crew scouted the area and reported back. Someone was definitely here, and a fight broke out. He kept scanning his flashlight around every corner, but the place seemed empty now. Suddenly, Hui Huang's face turned pale as a sheet frozen in absolute terror. Right in front of him was a massive corpse worm glaring at them like they were lunch. Hui Huang started screaming orders at everyone to get ready. Monster open fire. He and his team started spraying bullets at the corpse worm like crazy, but the thing didn't seem to care at all. After dumping way too many rounds and failing to drop the worm, Hui Huang just lost it and started panicking. Guns aren't killing them. Run. He bolted, constantly looking over his shoulder to see if it was following. Bad luck hit him hard. He tripped and the corpse worm snatched him up. Hui Huang could only scream for help at the top of his lungs. The rest of the crew got swarmed by the worms. One by one, their desperate, ear-piercing screams echoed through the air. The radio was still on, lying in the dirt. On the other end, they heard the screaming and got seriously freaked out. What is happening? Once the worms finished off the group, they started crawling toward the exit. Outside the cave, the remaining survivors decided to head in and see what the hell was going on. Move it! Janua kept pushing everyone forward. Who was going to find the treasure first? Let's go. Suddenly, he froze, his voice shaking. Below them was a swarm of hideous monsters crawling up. It was those damn desert corpse worms. Janua yelled out, "These things hate fire, burn them." The FBI guy standing next to him nodded. Roger that. So they broke out the flamethrowers to toast them. A few got fried immediately while the rest realized it was a bad idea and backed off. Janua saw the opening and told his team they are scared now. Keep moving forward, don't stop. The worms were quickly surrounded as the team kept up the pressure. After they finally cleared them out, the FBI guy finally spoke up. There was a room ahead, but then something slimy dripped onto Janua's shoulder. He looked up frowning and saw that number 02 was back. It was staring at the people below like they were snacks drooling all over the place. Totally gross. Everyone below panicked instantly. The FBI guy shouted, "What on earth is this thing?" But before they could even react, it threw a punch that sent them all flying. The FBI guy took the hardest hit. He slammed his head against the wall and went out cold. The others saw what happened and started unloading their guns using suppressive fire. Silver bullets were burying themselves deep into number 02's body as it roared. Janua saw his chance, leaped into the air and charged right at the monster. He grabs the target by one horn, smirking as he delivers a lead candy surprise. "Go to hell," he snaps. The direct hit is perfect and the beast finally drops like a rock. With the path clear, Janua barks an order to move in. They stay back to back, checking every corner, but something smells totally off, like old blood or something nasty. He spots a dry skeleton and tells his crew to tear the room apart until they find something useful. Scrounging around the front, someone finds a notebook. It is the research diary they have been hunting for. Right here in this mess. Suddenly, the whole place starts shaking like a massive earthquake. Janua and his guys are definitely starting to freak out now. Then they realize they are surrounded by two giant 02s. One of them charges in, putting every bit of its power into a ground-shaking punch. A few soldiers are already down and the rest are losing it and running. But Janua actually learned something from that last beatdown. He screams an order, "Stop being idiots, aim for the limbs first and slow these things down before they crush us." Fee finally snaps out of it. He drags his weak body up, grips his battle axe tight, and charges straight at one of those 02s like a madman. Maybe it was just slow or totally off guard, but the beast suddenly gets its arm ripped clean off by an attack. After showing off like that, he looks up at his enemy with a cocky, challenging grin on his face. That stunt makes the other 02 go ballistic, charging in for some serious revenge. Someone screams, "Watch out!" as Faye barely dodges a lethal strike. "Damn it!" They yell again, and the 02 starts spinning its head around, trying to find where exactly that voice is coming from. Right then, June appears out of nowhere from behind, raising his sword high into the air. He swings with everything he has, slicing right through the 02's leg. Meanwhile, Janua is in the back, unloading his gun into the thing. Go to hell! One bullet shatters the head of the one-armed beast, leaving the other monster looking actually stunned for a second. But it snaps back and lunges straight for Janua. Inside, he is screaming his head off. This is not good. Luckily, a sword flash cuts the monster wide open just in time. The deep wound starts spraying blood everywhere. That is the final straw. It loses all its strength and lets out one last pathetic scream before dying. Run is panting, leaning on his sword because he is completely wiped after that fight. The two men just stand there staring at the total carnage. There are monster bodies and dead teammates everywhere. June looks pretty shaken up. "Boss, it is just the two of us left now. Should we report back to the big boss first?" With this much blood spilled, Janua refuses to quit now. After all this, only finding that loot will make the losses worth it. They head deeper inside and finally see a glimmer of hope. There is one more small room to check. They rush in but stop dead. What Janua sees next makes him both shocked and absolutely furious. A 02 that Han Xiao took down earlier is just lying there. Monster corpses mean someone definitely beat them to it. Janua rushes to a box sitting on the table. He flips it open, clenches his fist, and slams it down hard against the wood. Staring at the empty box, Janua loses it. Damn it, the potion in the chest is gone. Someone snatched it. Somewhere else entirely, a calm voice cuts through the air. A man's hands are casually messing with a thick cigar. "Oh, someone actually beat you to the punch." On the other end, Janua is shaking and begging. "We will find them. Just give us one more shot." Before he can finish the mystery, man cuts him off. "Forget it. I think I have a pretty good idea who did this." He grips his cigar and stares off into the distance. "Don't sweat it. We will handle this ourselves from here on out. You guys are no match for him anyway." The next morning at the super fancy Vitalia Hotel, a sudden loud scream echoes all the way down the hallway, sounding totally out of place. Say what? Bai Hong is absolutely losing his mind after hearing the news. The 15-day mission, you finished it in only 6 days. Han Xiao just crosses his arms like it is no big deal. Yeah, luckily, you picked a really simple mission for once. The old guy starts looking at him in a whole new light. Cough, your skills are actually insane. I definitely have to give it to you. He hops on the computer and quickly updates Mr. Black's mission status. Right then, a loud notification pings on the screen. You have successfully completed the Rose-Armed Bounty Hunter mission. The system continues analyzing the performance. Hidden requirement found? The Veronica Plan Discovery mission is now officially complete. You have received an intermediate gene tuning potion. Han Xiao freezes for a few seconds, totally stunned by the special bonus reward. He studies his loot carefully. This Veronica serum is a biochemical potion that can boost stats, but it carries a huge risk of lowering them or causing nasty malignant mutations. The gene tuning potion can help lower the chances of those dangerous side effects. He holds it lost in thought for a long time. Should I really use this serum to boost my stats? Thinking back to that ugly monster he saw in the past gives him goosebumps. I won't turn into some muscle-bound freak like that thing at the base, right? But hey, everything happens for a reason, right? The system gave me the tuner potion, so it probably wants me to go for it. Since he is a real man, Han Xiao decides to get stronger. Chances like this don't come often. Just do it. He jams the needle straight into his left forearm. As the liquid hits his system, his face instantly glows. This feeling, man, I don't know if this is medicine or some high-end weed, but Han Xiao is floating. It's like eating a cold popsicle on a scorching summer day. Even his soul feels totally chilled out. After a minute, he is back to normal. Next up, the Veronica serum. He drives the needle right into his right wrist this time. Then a bone-chilling scream rips through the air. That is when the system pings. Veronica serum fusion is not at 100% yet, but you hit elite compatibility levels. After enduring that soul-crushing agony, Han Xiao finally grabs the power upgrade he wanted. You gain 3 strength points and 5 points in stamina. New perk. Low-level health boost. Your stamina now converts to health points at a ratio of 1 to 15. His eyes are glazed over and he's drenched in sweat. But man, this talent is insanely rare. Looks like the gamble paid off. All finished, he heads to the bathroom to wash off the grime. Thoughts race through his mind. With 66 stamina points, that is 990 health. His HP basically just doubled. Looking in the mirror, Han Xiao is feeling pretty hyped about how ripped his new physique looks. Level 30 and my HP is over 2,000. Even a level 38 martial artist cannot touch these stats right now. Glad I did not turn into some freakish meathead. I still look the same. Pure style. Time to test this raw power. This talent is wild. Combined with my magnetic armor and future tech, I am going to wreck anyone who gets in my way. Suddenly his phone starts buzzing. Someone is calling. He picks up and says, "Hello, it is me." The voice on the other end rushes in. "Mr. Black? The Charlotte family messenger wants to see you." Drying his hair, Han Xiao smirks and agrees to the meeting. Fine by me. Next morning, the sky is clear and the breeze is perfect. A guy casually puffs on a cigar and introduces himself as Ueno. He watches the glowing cherry of his cigar and adds proudly, "Our family was the one behind the Rose-Armed mission." Playing dumb, he acts like he has no clue. "You guys did not track me down just to talk about the bounty, right?" Ueno freezes, looking totally annoyed. Honestly, his eyebrows are cinched so tight, they are basically hugging each other at this point. He loses his patience and just gets straight to the point. "Honestly, let me just ask you. In the Somali desert, did you visit an abandoned base?" The question just hangs there. The only thing filling the luxury room is a heavy, awkward silence. Ueno taps his cigar and says the Rose-Armed mission has been active for almost 3 years now. Countless assassins failed and came back empty-handed, yet Mr. Black finished it solo. I am impressed. He just gives a lazy, bored smile. "You're too kind." He pulls a cigarette up from his pack and lights it up in one smooth motion. "Look, we are just an assassin and a client. Once the job is done, we are square." He exhales a cloud of smoke and gives him exactly what he wants. "Yeah, I visited that abandoned base." Han Xiao reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small tube of serum, setting it on the table. "Give me a price." Ueno stares at him, totally stunned by how fast this is moving. He did not expect things to be this easy. He takes another drag and says casually, "If you want it, pay up." Ueno blinks. "Wait, what?" Money is something the Charlotte family has plenty of. He throws out a price of 1 million. Han Xiao just stares him down. That price makes it seem like you are not serious. Ueno starts sweating and scrambling for an excuse. "This serum is decades old. We do not even know if it works." I do not let him keep rambling. He just cuts him off right there. "I will take it." He taps the serum tube, his mind running the numbers. Without the right gene stabilizer, this stuff is just dead weight. No point in taking the risk myself, so I might as well sell it. Ueno has lost his jaw, practically hitting the floor. "Wait, you are actually agreeing?" Han Xiao shrugs, like it is nothing. Just making a new friend. Ueno grins, thrilled with the quick deal, and reaches out to grab the tube. Easy money. I will have the funds transferred to your account immediately. He stands up for a handshake and throws in a bonus. You have officially earned the friendship of the Charlotte family and myself. The system pings with a new alert. You have unlocked a new faction reputation. Your favor with the Charlotte family has jumped to 1,800 out of 3,000 points. Before he heads out, Han Xiao turns back. So what exactly is Veronica? Ueno does not hide it. It was a research project from the old Somali desert nation back during the previous war. They set up tons of secret bases to study different technologies. That serum you found was just one of the things they made. They walk together all the way to the car. Once he gets the info he needs, he nods. Got it. So that is the deal. Honestly, I thought there were actual magical ruins there. Ueno just laughs at the idea. Ha, magic. Since when does magic exist in this world? Ueno pulls out a business card and hands it over. Here's my number. If you ever need anything, just give me a shout. Han Xiao smirks, like he just won the lottery. Taking the card, he makes a move. I want to upgrade my clearance with the Blood Covenant. Got any jobs for me? He grabbed the tablet from the back seat and shoved it in front of my face. Perfect timing, man. Check this out. My eyes bugged out at the notification. It is top secret, unauthorized personnel, strictly keep out. But since Ueno handed it over himself, who was I to stop him? My fingers blurred across the screen. It was an internal recruitment call for dark-level contracts and 2-star mercenaries, or higher. High-stakes stuff. The gig guard the manor and keep those top-secret files safe. He didn't mince words about it. You are way too low level for this, usually, but I will pull some strings for you. Finish this, and you will hit dark-level rank instantly. Han Xiao bolted back to his machine-packed lab. He sat there chin in hand, staring at the monitors while his brain went into overdrive. Almost 300 people are in on this. The difficulty level is massive. Gotta dodge close quarters brawls and beef up my speed gear. Lucky for me, I'm just one map away from that sweet class promotion. I started tapping the screen like crazy, fusing my level 4 basic electromagnetism knowledge with my current build. Added level 3 energy theory, level 4 engineering, and level 2 biology. Cost me 20,000 experience points. Ouch! I bit my lip while scrolling through the multitask windows. Not this one, nope, not that one either. Finally, I cracked a grin. The screen flashed a success message over a pair of high fashion kicks. Fusion complete, baby. You have researched electromagnetic hover boots. Gained 12,306 experience. This is exactly what I needed. I was on cloud 9, grinning like a total idiot at the ceiling. Then the system pinged with the big news class, change mission officially accomplished. New job unlocked, intern mechanic. I got 50 strength, 1 agility, 1 endurance, and 4 intelligence. Plus, I have 3 free attribute points to spend. Gained 1 potential point and mastered advanced maintenance and high-tier enhancement mods. My gear is getting a serious glow up. Leveled up from 30 to 34. I rode that hype straight back to my desk, typing like a madman on the keys. Dumped my points into intelligence and used the leftover experience to max out my skill levels. Then my rapid-fire slide skill just jumped from level 1 straight to level 4. Can't play favorites with my gear, so I stood up and headed over to the crafting table to finish up. I focused every bit of energy on those tiny screws. My equipment needs some serious love, too. I worked until the moon was hanging high outside my window. I rubbed my eyes and let out a long breath. Phew. Finally, it is finished. A beastly combat bot stood tall on the desk. Meet the rover. Mark II, 2,200 armor, 37 defense, and 168 power level. Those boots I made were ready too. The electromagnetic fields in the soles kill ground friction so you can glide like a total pro. It lets the wearer sprint like a demon across any kind of terrain. I grinned. Guess I will call you Skate Boots. I pulled out my phone and dialed Anton's number immediately. Striking a cool pose with my hands in my pockets, I said, "Get me an attack helicopter. Ready stat. I am heading to White Seagull City." Honestly, I never thought I would be heading back to Tinlong this quickly. In White Seagull City, the sun baked the asphalt as my blue car pulled up to the massive iron gates. I stepped out of the car, eyes scanning the whole area. Under the bright sun, that massive villa in the distance looked seriously intimidating. Up in a small window, a sniper barrel that had been dead silent suddenly spat out a flash of fire. The bullet slammed into the ground right by my toes. My guard went up instantly as I scanned for the shooter. My inner sniper knew that was just a warning shot. Oh, right. I started digging through my pockets for that one thing. My ID coin. The sniper didn't move an inch, just kept their scope locked on my every single move from the shadows. Through the lens, I held up a round coin marked with a special secret symbol to show I am friendly. I stared straight ahead, waiting patiently. Once I felt they saw the signal, I cautiously crept forward. When no more shots came, I finally let out a massive breath. No more bullets. Looks like I'm in the clear. The wooden fence of the camp sat there quiet under the scorching sun. I finally made my way inside the perimeter. Suddenly a voice barked out, "Hey, rookie." I turned around stone-faced. There was Kwang Min clutching a gun and pointing off to the side. Head over there, Tran Lai will brief you. Right on cue, Tran Lai stood up and waved me over his eyes, scanning me up and down. He asked in a totally deadpan voice, "What is your specialty anyway, sniper?" I replied shortly. Tran Lai's face lit up like a Christmas tree. Awesome, we were just looking for some long-range heat. I did not care much for his excitement. I cut straight to the chase. I still have some questions about this mission. Who exactly are we protecting, and how long are we stuck here? My question seemed to leave Tran Lai looking a little bit confused. Higher-ups didn't say how long we're supposed to guard this place. The enemy's gonna hit us eventually. Our target is still holed up inside playing hide-and-seek. Who knows if anyone's even there? If we can't hold it, we bail. He flashed a smirk. What's your rank? Shadow or ghost level? Not wanting to overshare, Han Xiao played it cool. Seed. Qin Lai looked floored. Well, how'd you score an order? You're not even qualified to be here. Han Xiao shrugged. I am already here. Rank doesn't mean squat now. Chen Li gave up. Whatever just hit something. He pointed at the bunkers nearby. See those 3 bunkers? Head to the middle one. The Poison Wind brothers will get you settled. Later, Han Xiao climbed the rusty bunker stairs toward a heavy, creaky metal door. Inside, Vidin and Vu Thak were lounging against the wall. Vidin's eyes snapped open, staring. New meat, codename rank, and specialty. Mr. Black, seed rank sniper. The guy spat, closed his eyes, and showed total contempt. Seed rank. Beat it. Go to the left bunker. You can pick off the stragglers we miss. The ruined bunker sat hidden among the trees. Han Xiao walked in. New guy here. Seed rank sniper. Hu Tu did not look back. Fine, you take the left. I have the right side. He stared at the tiny gaps of land between the crumbling walls. Narrow view light duty? They clearly do not trust me. He dropped his heavy rifle bag. System screen new quest? Protect the recruitment order. Looking at the text, he felt pure excitement. Interesting quest. Soon the rifle was set resting under the hot sun. He kept watch calculating the rewards. If they suck, I'm out of here. Night fell. 3 helicopters appeared in the sky. The noise was deafening. He saw 2 massive tanks rolling in below. Boom. Muzzle flashes lit up the dark. The front fence got totally wrecked. The blast flared. Soldiers started rushing toward the noise. Qin Lai looked stressed, staring ahead while screaming orders at the top of his lungs. Enemy attack. Get ready. A rain of machine gun fire tore through the night. Men yelled to hold the line. One guy caught a round and dropped. Shot from the bunker. Han Xiao was locked in picking them off. Another perfect headshot. Sniper in the tower, take cover. They sprayed the bunker, but our side just ramped up the fire. Bullets hit the trucks. They turned into fireballs. They were losing. Retreat. That sniper is too accurate. Convoy's pulling out. Think you're leaving. 1 shot, 2 kills. Hu Tu was actually impressed. Nice. Phase 1, complete. Low experience, but decent growth. 20,000, then 80,000. Next round, 320,000. He headed to logistics. Maybe he could find more experience there. Logistics was quiet. Dai Min begged, Vuong K, help me fix this gun. Leave it. Fix it after my nap. A voice cut in. If you're in a rush? Han Xiao walked in. Let me fix it. I am fast. The guy looked skeptical. Vuong K did not even turn around. Drop it, Pops. This kid is more than ready. Han Xiao didn't hesitate for a second. He snatched the rifle right out of Big Ming's hands. You want to see if I can do it? Watch and learn. He swung around to the workstation, totally locked in. Time to show these guys how a pro handles real repairs. Big Ming watched every move. The guy was totally floored by what he was seeing. Man, look at those hands move. The kid actually had some serious game. He snapped the final pin into place with a satisfying click. Just like that, the job was done. He spun around with a smug grin. Finished. Right then, a notification popped up on his screen. Task complete. You just banked 233 experience points for that repair. Big Ming's eyes nearly popped out of his head. No way already, he yelled. Suddenly, Van appeared out of nowhere to join the party. He started hyping up Han Xiao's skills. Wait, you're a mechanic too, man. That is exactly what we need right now. He glanced over at the mountain of busted gear in the crates inside. Look at this mess. We've got way too much work and 0 time. Han Xiao caught the vibe immediately. He didn't blink before reaching for the next gun. I got this. Say no more. He was working with such rhythm that even Van standing right behind him was left totally speechless. His hands were a blur across the metal plating. Parts were flying off as he stripped the thing down. The drill was humming a non-stop tune of pure efficiency. Van was staring like he'd seen a ghost. Half the pile was already fixed. It wasn't just the rifles either. Han Xiao was tearing through the ammo crates at lightning speed. Watching from the side, even Huang Hak was caught up in the hype. Man, watching you work is like a masterclass in engineering. Van nodded along, totally agreeing. Same here, man. But the moment was cut short by a panicked shout from the doorway. Heads up, bogeys on the horizon. Gear up. But the guys were so into the repairs, they barely moved. Just let me watch a bit more. Then the siren started screaming. That high-pitched wail meant trouble was knocking. Up in the bunkers, you could see shadows scrambling into position. Old Beard spotted Han Xiao and started barking orders. About time you showed up. Get your tail over to the left flank, now. He grabbed a sniper rifle in one smooth motion and dropped into a perfect combat stance. Relax, he said with total confidence. I've got this. Soon armed vehicles rolled in one by one. Up above, heavy choppers were already providing air support for the ground troops. Our guys were catching lead in the trenches' uniforms, turning a nasty shade of crimson. The enemy saw us wobbling and decided to turn up the heat. The tanks kept firing. Non-stop suppressing fire was hammering our lines into the dirt. But we weren't just taking it. A hail of lead screamed out from our bunker, tearing through the darkness and dropping an enemy soldier right in his tracks. Our guys let out a cheer, their spirits finally lifting. Hell of a shot, man. Keep it up. It was absolute chaos out there. Just a deadly storm of flying lead and non-stop explosions. Han Xiao kept his eyes on the scope, calculating. Damn, he thought. These guys have definitely leveled up since last time. Every shot he took was dead on target, but honestly, this was starting to feel like a tutorial level. Way too easy. Over on the horizon, the sun was finally starting to peek out. Our guys held the line. Eventually, the enemy armor started backing off as someone barked an order. That is enough. Pull back for today. Text filled the screen. Wave 2 is officially in the books. Han Xiao stared at the total, totally blindsided. 150,000 experience points. Those numbers started making him a little nervous. The next wave was going to be an absolute nightmare. Han Xiao looked down at the absolute wreckage below him. There were bodies all over the dirt. Thinking about the mercenary casualty count made him break out in a cold sweat. There was at least an 80% chance we wouldn't be able to stop what was coming next. The sky just opened up, rain, thunder, and lightning everywhere. A merc started screaming, "Move the ammo! Don't let it get soaked!" The downpour was so heavy, it felt like it was trying to wash the whole world away. Han Xiao stayed in the bunker staring at the rain. He turned to the guy next to him to kill time with some small talk. Perfect weather for a sneak attack, right? If I were them, I'd hit us tonight. Old Beard looked totally annoyed. Zip it, kid. Don't you go jinxing us with that big mouth of yours. Suddenly the sirens went off like a punch to the gut. The guy jumped to his feet, immediately letting out a string of curses under his breath. "They're here!" he yelled. Sure enough, a whole fleet of tactical vehicles was crawling through the mud and rain, closing in fast on our position. One of our snipers screamed, "Open fire," but Tran Lai was already glued to his binoculars. He saw something nasty and yelled, "Everyone get down now!" It was too late. The enemy beat them to the punch, and their heavy machine guns were already shredding the air. Mercs caught in the open were getting tossed like rag dolls by the blasts. Tran Lai barely made it behind some sandbags, frantically screaming into his radio for backup. "Squad 1 status report, give me a body count." Suddenly he heard a low rumble from above and looked up at the stormy sky. These guys weren't playing around anymore. They were going big. He let out a frustrated roar. "Damn it, attack choppers. Get those guns up now. Snipers, take those birds out of the sky." Inside the bunker, one of the shooters barked back, sounding stressed out and totally on edge. "Don't rush the shot." V-Din was lining up his target while yelling to the crew. "We'll deal with the choppers." Meanwhile, Han Xiao was just watching those birds thinking. Those cockpit windows on the attack choppers are made of high-grade bulletproof glass. Using standard ammo is useless. You could hit those things 8 times and never get through. Just like he figured the bullets were only leaving a few tiny scratches on the surface. Instead, it gave away their position. Those snipers hiding in these houses? Yeah, they're about to get blown to bits. Right on cue, the choppers opened fire. Massive rounds shredded the bunker, ripping chunks of concrete right off the walls. Han Xiao scowled at the mess. "Position's blown," he muttered under his breath. Without a word, he bolted, leaving Hu Zi screaming in his wake. "Damn it, where the hell are you going?" The choppers pressed their advantage now that they found the snipers. Han Xiao danced through the explosions, barely making it out of that bunker alive. The rain kept pouring, and the enemy fire showed zero signs of stopping anytime soon. Inside the mansion, 2 old guys watched the chaos unfold. Wang Yuan spoke up, his voice grim. "Those guys outside, they can't hold them!" Bennett cracked his knuckles and stepped forward. "Looks like it's my turn to handle things." He laughed at his buddy like this was just another Tuesday. "All yours, then." Suddenly, something caught his eye. Huh. Someone actually shot through the chopper's bulletproof glass. Watching the shooter stick a smooth landing, Bennett looked genuinely impressed. "Interesting. Seems like I won't have to lift a finger after all." A cold voice crackled over the radio. "We have still got targets breathing. Scour that abandoned sector and finish them off now." Hu Zi failed to escape the bunker before it collapsed. Now he was trapped under the rubble, staring at death with total and utter despair. A chopper hovered right in front of him, gun barrels aimed at his face. It was the Grim Reaper coming to collect. Suddenly, a hand grabbed Hu Zi by his belt. Han Xiao yanked him out of the line of fire just in the nick of time. He was trembling, gasping for air like he just escaped hell itself. "The choppers are too much, man. We are totally dead." The bunker was a complete inferno, now buried under a thick cloud of ash and smoke. Han Xiao snapped at Huzi to get it together. "Find a nest and keep shooting." He braced his feet, ready for his next big move. With that, he rocketed through the rain, his electromagnetic boots giving him a massive speed boost. "Leave the choppers to me," he called out. Despite the downpour, the enemy helicopters kept dropping mini-bombs, trying to level everything in their path. Any merc unlucky enough to be in the blast zone got launched into the air by the massive shockwaves. Two shooters hiding behind a wall watched the carnage. One of them growled at his partner, "This is absolute garbage. We're just target practice for those helis. They've already smashed through our second line of defense." Dozens of military vehicles rolled in from the distance, guns blazing. Then those familiar electromagnetic boots flickered into view again. Han Xiao moved like a ghost, dodging bullets left and right. He whipped out his rifle, found his perfect angle, and lined up the first beautiful shot of the day. Instantly, a massive explosion rocked the sky above. A chopper took a direct hit, spewing sparks everywhere. Chen Li saw the opening and barked an order to fire. His partner cheered for the incredible shot. "Hell of a shot. It's time to push back." Every mercenary on the field started a brutal counterattack. Han Xiao leveled his rifle again, locked onto another chopper, and blew it out of the sky while counting his kills. 2. Right then, a system notification flashed. "You have successfully performed a moving snipe. You've gained insight into mobile sniping techniques. New skill unlocked, moving snipe." Another alert popped up. "Moving snipe level 1 experience 4,500. Accuracy penalty reduced critical hit chance plus 2% for all sniper equipment. Fire rate plus 1%. These back-to-back notifications were a massive surprise for Han Xiao. New skills. He'll take it. He tapped the upgrade button instantly. Perfect. Just what he needed for this mess. Might as well max it out now. Enemy armored tanks kept pounding the area. Han Xiao had to dodge shockwaves while simultaneously picking off those annoying choppers. The final shot was a total bullseye. Another chopper spiraled down, crashing straight into an enemy tank. Both of them went up in a massive fireball. Smirking at the carnage, Han Xiao ignored the heat and walked away as everything burned behind him. Mission accomplished. Chen Li, ever the leader, finally rallied the troops. "Time to hit him back. Give it everything you've got." The team was pumped. They unloaded their clips, shredding the enemy with pinpoint accuracy. One guy took a bullet right through the skull before he could even blink twice. Enemy military vehicles were getting picked off left and right. Every few yards, another one erupted into a fireball. Someone slammed their fist against the steering wheel. An enemy commander was gritting his teeth in pure, unadulterated rage. "Damn it, pull back before we lose, everyone retreat." Watching the enemy flee, our guys finally let out a breath of relief. That was way too close. The line almost snapped. A seed-rank sniper doing that kind of damage? It doesn't even make sense. Chen Li figured it out. Kid must be new, hasn't ranked up yet. After this performance, though, he's definitely hitting ghost rank by the end of this. Over on the other side, Han Xiao suddenly frowned as a surprise notification popped up. "Mission accomplished. You scored 150,000 experience points. Now Wave 4 requires you to repel the next attack." He was honestly getting bored. Another defense mission. Give me a break. But then he read the fine print. Each wave repelled nets 40,000 experience points. Even if you fail, you still grab the accumulated points, plus a special bonus of 100,000 experience. Now he was interested. Special bonus. Looks like things are about to get real interesting around here. Suddenly, Chen Li's voice crackled through the headset. "The target is out in the open, guys, move it." Han Xiao snapped back with a quick copy that most of the surviving mercenaries gathered at the massive mansion. Everyone was dying to know who exactly was signing their paychecks this time. Wang Yun looked at the young guys and gave them a real smile. "Thanks for keeping me safe these past few days. If I call your name, come over, I need a word." Suddenly, Han Xiao's eyes went wide like he'd just seen a ghost. Turns out the guy standing next to Wang Yuan was the one who caught his eye. Bennett Anderson. What is he doing here? He flashed back to the game's storyline. This guy is a local legend on this planet, a major player in the main quest line. Not just that, he is also the secret trainer for those rare hidden skills. While Han Xiao was spaced out, the roll call was almost done. "Wait, that is me." One of the guys teased him with a grin. "Don't forget your buddies if you get lucky," Wang Yuan said smoothly. "Finally, Mr. Black. You weren't shocked by the result, but you were definitely feeling pretty good." "Sweet." Han Xiao suddenly called Ueno. The second he picked up, he sounded confused. Why are you calling me right now?" "Aren't you busy with that recruitment mission?" Han Xiao didn't waste any breath and just cut straight to the point. "I need to swap some gear. Hidden Bred Silver Sentinel and the Rattler Sniper Rifle." He agreed without a second thought. "Fine, I'll get someone to round that up for you. Should have it in about 2 days." But when the alert flashed, he saw his favorability rating tanked by 500 points for those 2 items. He didn't even blink. "Whatever. Thanks." Han Xiao just kept staring at Bennett. It looked like he was hatching a plan. He never expected to run into the planet's main protagonist this early. Time to seize the moment. Everyone who got called was now chilling in the living room of the mansion. Wang Yun politely told them to take a seat. He introduced himself saying, "I'm Wang Yuan. I'll need your protection a bit longer, so the mansion is open to you for some rest." Then he added a little something extra. "You guys are the backbone of this estate's defense. Once the job is done, I'll be giving each of you a personal bonus." The moment they heard that, everyone's eyes sparked with greedy anticipation. Huang Xi felt like things were wrapped up, so he just up and left. "We're going to go crash for a bit." Wang Yuan chuckled at the youngster's eagerness, but then he noticed one guy hadn't moved an inch. "Mr. Black, something on your mind?" Han Xiao pointed straight at Bennett and spoke up boldly. "I want a private word with him." A rugged hand lifted a teacup. Bennett looked at the kid sitting across from him with a friendly vibe and started talking. "Have we met somewhere before?" Han Xiao ignored the question and started rattling off the man's entire life story instead. "Bennett Anderson. A legend from the old days, a top-tier ace agent and captain of the most elite squad out there. Nicknamed Phantom." Without missing a beat, he listed every major milestone of the man's career, right up until he left the Autofan team. "Decades ago, your bounty already hit 15 million. You could see the total respect and seriousness in Han Xiao's eyes as he spoke. "Then you vanished for 2 years. When you showed up again, you started helping war-torn civilians and built a massive organization that eventually became the Dark Web." Bennett just stood there frozen for 5 seconds, completely lost for words. After a long pause, he dropped a bombshell question. "You aren't some kind of super fan, are you?" Han Xiao was honestly left speechless. Pulling himself together, he realized he needed to squeeze some value out of this legend. He definitely couldn't afford to piss him off. He gave a fake little cough to clear the air, then put on an excited face like a kid in a candy store. "Exactly. I've heard all the stories about you and I've always wanted to meet you in person." Bennett gave him a helpless laugh. "That is all in the past. What do you want? Don't tell me you're looking for an autograph." Han Xiao was pretty much over it, but tried to stay polite. Not exactly." Inside, he wanted to scream. "Someone call a cop. This old man is such a massive show-off. Man is such..." He just scratched his head awkwardly and said, "I heard you're the strongest human being on this entire planet." Bennett's gaze turned sharp as a blade. He thought he had the guy pegged and smirked. "Oh, so you're just another punk who wants to challenge me?" Han Xiao sighed, feeling drained. No, that's not it at all. I actually want to learn some real combat skills from you." The man laughed, clearly impressed. "Interesting. First time anyone has ever come to me for training. But you're a sniper, kid. You won't be able to learn my combat techniques." He got the hint that he was being rejected, so he didn't push it. He just stood up and said goodbye. "Is that so? Well, I won't bother you anymore then." Han Xiao already saw this coming. Classic game logic: if you don't meet the requirements, you get rejected. To unlock this skill, he needs to bring a very specific special gift for the man. Luckily, I planned ahead. Another wave of enemies is hitting hard now, and smoke is filling the entire sky. Quang Min shouts to the recruits to follow him. A gorgeous mercenary named Kim Fox struts over to get the lowdown on the situation. So what is the status? He is a bit struck by her beauty and keeps his cool while answering the lovely lady. The enemy attacks are getting more intense, but our defensive lines are holding strong and steady for now. Mr. Black is guarding the northeast and southeast lines, so we are solid. She's curious about the name. Who exactly is this Mr. Black guy? Quang Min starts hyping him up immediately. Mr. Black is a high-level assassin with some seriously god-tier sniping skills. She hears he is just a low-tier grunt and scoffs. Putting a newbie in charge of the whole operation, is that not a little sloppy for you? Suddenly his tone turns ice cold and his words get a sharp edge. Listen out here, results are all that matter. Don't let your ego get ahead of you, kid. She is stunned. She was just asking a question, but his reaction was totally over the top. Does this Mr. Black really have that much clout? Over at the Valley Manor, even though it is late, the snipers are still working at full throttle. Kim Fox glances at the nearby bunker, sensing that enemy armored tanks are closing in on their position. Looking through her scope, she watches an enemy soldier get sniped from an insane distance. The precision of the shot leaves her absolutely floored. She stares at Han Xiao's hiding spot and gasps. So fast! That is the most cracked sniper I have ever seen. He fires again, sparks flying everywhere. As soon as a chopper goes down in flames, the troops start cheering wildly. Awesome. That last bird is down. Mr. Black really is the GOAT of this squad. Han Xiao checks his system notifications. 3 out of 5 waves repelled. He notes to himself that the third round is finished. The intensity is spiking. I can handle it, but what is the deal with that hidden 100,000 experience reward? Suddenly his headset crackles to life. Someone on the other end says, "Mr. Black, there's a messenger here from the Charlotte family waiting to speak with you." He smirks and replies, "Oh, that was fast." A bit later, a guy delivers a pretty chunky suitcase directly to Han Xiao. He takes it with a polite nod and says thanks. Gripping the handle, he feels a fresh surge of confidence. In this game's lore, Bennett loves collecting rare, discontinued vintage weapons. Different gifts unlock completely different skill sets for the player. There are only so many of these items in existence, so the skills you can learn from Bennett are strictly limited. Han Xiao heads toward the Wang Yuan mansion, thinking to himself as he walks down the long corridor. In my past life, players fought tooth and nail for rare skills. Now I just need a few favor points. What a steal. Inside his room, Bennett sips tea and looks at his guest. Take a seat. What brings you here? That unexpected visitor is Han Xiao. He pops the suitcase open and makes his pitch. I want you to teach me how to fight. The old man smiles politely. Didn't I already say? Bennett's eyes suddenly go wide. Huh. There's a stunningly beautiful short sword sitting right in front of him. It is the Silver Watcher version of Hidden Break. The old man assumes the best. You are actually giving this to me, are you not? You knew I loved vintage gear. You're a total fanboy. Han Xiao needs a favor, so he just nods along to avoid an argument. Yeah, sure, whatever. They both grip the suitcase, staring each other down, neither one willing to let go just yet. Bennett suddenly blabs out, I accept. Han Xiao gets the wrong idea and takes a confused, awkward step back. Wait, what are you talking about? Bennett snatches the suitcase and hugs it tight. What do you think I'm agreeing to teach you? He yells back, totally embarrassed. Could you maybe finish your sentences next time? With a solid answer, Han Xiao smiles, relieved. A mission accomplished. In a bright, empty room, Bennett starts taking a slow trip down memory lane. When I was young, I was pretty weak, so I had to invent my own fighting style. One specific move saved my life many times. I call it Burning Will. Hearing the exact skill he needs, Han Xiao perks up and focuses every ounce of his attention. Finally, this is the one. The old man starts talking about potential. The human body has infinite potential, but our brains limit that power to keep us safe. If you can break past those mental barriers, even an average person can explode with an absolutely massive amount of strength. However, that kind of power comes with a price. The side effects can be pretty devastating. Bennett looks back at his achievements with pride. After years of digging, I found a way to temporarily unlock those limits during combat without wrecking your body. Just then, a notification pops up. Level 60, Bennett Anderson is teaching you Burning Will. Since your intelligence is over 100, you have met the requirements to learn it. He starts the drill, eyes closed, deep breaths. Early morning clouds drifting by. Just a regular Tuesday. Then boom, the sun is gone and it is dusk. Time flies when you are leveling up, I guess. Suddenly a notification hits Burning Will, training at 100%. Level 1 unlocked. The stat sheet drops all the juicy details for this new skill. It has got both active and passive perks. Bennett stares the guy down and finally breaks the silence. What are you smirking at? You actually learn it? Han Xiao nods. Yeah, almost there. The old man is skeptical. Hit me with one punch. Let us see if you're for real. Xiao just grins, looking totally unbothered. He charges his fist with the skill and lunges forward, looking to deliver a total knockout blow. System alert. Burning Will activated. Check successful. Your next strike is officially going to deal 136% of your base damage. But Bennett just brushes it off. Hey, watch the face. Suddenly, the old man's stats pop up too. You have entered combat. Based on your current level here, is the intel you can actually see right now. A flood of hidden skills and stats appear. Han Xiao is just standing there completely blown away by it. No wonder he's the main character. These stats are absolutely cracked. Even with internal injuries, this dude is still twice as strong as me in my best gear. That is insane. After the spar, Bennett gives him a nod. Not bad, kid. You really did learn it. Xiao bows in respect. Thanks, old man. Back at the sniper nest, Han Xiao hears someone calling out his name from behind. Mr. Black? Golden Fox approaches him with a favor. You busy mind teaching me some of those sniper tricks? She shows some skin and puts on a cute voice. I am your biggest fan, but he just blanks her. She is persistent, though, touching his shoulder and turning up the charm. I just want a little private lesson, okay? Han Xiao drops a truth bomb. Lady, stop wasting your breath. I am not into women. She backs off, stunned. Is he? Before she can finish that thought, he cuts her off. Not into men, either. He finishes her off. Honestly, I am just not interested in humans at all. If it is breathing, I am out. That one line was enough to send her running away in tears. Mission accomplished, I guess. Han Xiao just watches her go totally unimpressed. Please trying the honey trap on me. You are a rookie. Late at night, the mansion lights are still burning. Xiao lies there, wondering if the enemy will strike tomorrow when something catches his eye. He sits up, peering through the glass at the ground below. That car looks way too familiar. Suddenly, it hits him like a slap in the face. Xiao just freezes. A pair of long legs step out of the car. It is a familiar face. Why is Di Susu here? At the mansion gate, a greeting rings out. Wang Yuan, it has been a long time. They share a warm handshake. Mo Ran and Wang Yuan start catching up. It has been at least 10 years since you were our ace. I lead the dark web now. If this drama had not happened, we might never have met. Mo Ran is a straight shooter. He gets right to the point without any fluff or nonsense. Combat has been breaking out across Starlight Dragon for weeks. What are you guys actually doing here? Since they are old friends, he spills. Our elders at the dark web have always tried to stay neutral through everything. But some ambitious punks want to replace us. We are just old obstacles in their way, so they want us dead. While they talk strategy, I have already sent Cena to deal with them. We have cleared out quite a few. Those two traitors are definitely going for a final counterattack. Xiao watches from his window, pulling the curtains back to observe. Looks like the Division 13 crew is not here for me after all. Suddenly, Susu feels eyes on her. She looks up and spots a shadow behind the second-floor curtains. Xiao thinks for a second, then hits the hay. Susu knows she needs to stay sharp. Moran heads back to his car, giving his final orders. Susu, you and the team monitor the fight here? Keep the reports coming in? She gives a nod. The battle is brutal helicopters, dropping bombs from above while armored military vehicles roll through the streets down below. Total war zone vibes. But today is different. A few supers have arrived and David is leading the charge. They are slaughtering our guys without a second thought. The mercenaries are livid great now the enemy is using superhumans. Suddenly, a sniper rifle from inside the bunker cracks off a single lethal shot. One of the supers takes a bullet to the brain. Blood everywhere. Han Xiao just smirks at his own handiwork. Just superpowers, whatever. A bit later, today's scrap finally wrapped up once the bad guys took a heavy beating. A system notification pops up. Round 4 cleared. Reward 200,000 experience points. Hidden objective failed. Division 13 showed up triggering a bonus round 5. Han Xiao finally gets it. The secret goal was keeping Division 13 away. If every fight was a quick smash and grab without making a huge scene, maybe Division 13 wouldn't have come sniffing around. He shrugs it off. Whatever. You win some, you lose some with hidden quests. Suddenly his phone rings. Mr. Black Wang Yuan is calling a meeting. He hears it, but his mind is already spinning on something else. This gig was only 4 rounds, so what is this bonus round 5 about? A few minutes later, everyone gathers in front of the mansion. Wang Yuan gets straight to the point with his offer. I need bodyguards for me and Bennett to head to Division 13 in White Seagull City. Moonlight Volcano, Hunter Golden Fox. Mr. Black, protect me and I will pay extra. No pressure if you decline. Hunter immediately throws his hand up to agree. No problem at all. Han Xiao has no choice but to say, count me in. Refusing means the mission fails, so he has to go. Right then, the system pings with the Round 5 update. Assist Wang Yuan through high-risk threats. Failure condition. Death. Seeing that last line, he frowns. If failing means dying, this next enemy is going to be a real headache. A bus tears through the dark night. Inside, the whole crew is riding along with Wang Yuan and Bennett. Han Xiao glances at the next row, and Golden Fox nearly jumps out of her skin when their eyes meet. He finds it hilarious how much his little prank spooked her. Seriously, I really left a mark on her psyche, huh? Over in the city of White Seagull, the bus finally rolls up to the local Division 13 branch office. Wang Yuan leads the way and tells them, I'm safe inside Division 13. Spend the night in the city and meet back here tomorrow. With some free time on their hands, Hunter turns to the group. So what is the plan for tonight? One guy eyes Golden Fox and the others. I am hitting a bar for some fun. Who is coming? She just scoffs. Hard pass. I'm only interested in handsome guys. Hunter keeps trying to recruit people. You guys in or what? Moonlight politely replies, I will just patrol the area. Meanwhile, Han Xiao just shakes his head and bails. Somewhere else in a shack by the mountains, a guy flicks a lighter and sparks a smoke. He sneers at a mission alert on his screen. Fetch 2 million for my services, joke. Then his phone rings. This dude is actually a super criminal. Bai Qin picks up, sounding totally arrogant. Did I not already turn you down? The voice on the other end sounds desperate. Look, Bai Qin, the target has Bennett. You are the only one who can take him. They instantly hiked the price. 6 million. Just do it. Hearing a number he likes, Bai Qin smirks. Finally. Why did you not just say that in the first place? Leave it to me. Out on the busy streets, Han Xiao walks while mapping things out. Round 5 is giving me free time to wander, which probably means danger is going to strike when I least expect it. Deep in thought, he knows he cannot waste any time. He might as well handle some local tasks while he can, but his instincts scream that he is being followed. Sure enough, some random guy is trying to track him. He wonders who the creep is. Is it an enemy or someone from Division 13? Looking for a quiet spot to ditch him, Han Xiao ducks into a restroom to get out of sight. He quickly fires up his disguise device while shooting an arrow to smash the security camera on the ceiling. Just like that, he transforms into a short-haired hottie without anyone noticing. Trying to tail me. You're way too green for that. Over at the MA security room, a guard frowns at his monitors and radios in a report. The guy tailing Mr. Black says he went into the bathroom and vanished. The camera is busted. We checked the whole city, but no matches. Hearing this hits Susu like a ton of bricks. A wild thought crosses her mind. Could it be Han Xiao? But she immediately kills the idea. No way. It is not like every missing person is connected to Han Xiao. I must just be super stressed out lately. At a shop in the old town of White Seagull, Li Xin is about to close up when something makes her jump. Through the glass, she sees Han Xiao's face plain as day. Looking at this absolute hunk, she totally loses it internally. Oh my god, he is gorgeous. Keeping her cool, she asks, "Can I help you with something?" He does not answer directly, instead asking if he can come in to check out some antiques. Once inside, Han Xiao turns to the girl and asks if she owns the shop. Li Xin blushingly gives a shy response. Yes. He gives her a weird look. Why is she acting so strange? Did I pick a goofy disguise this time? She quickly recovers and leads the way. Please look this way. Suddenly, Han Xiao speaks up. Where is Tong Shu? That single word, success, made Li Xin's heart skip a beat. Seeing her panic, he frowned, slowly pulled a pistol from his jacket and leveled it at his target with a sharp, deadly stare that meant business. Take me to him right now? Li Xin had no choice but to lead Han Xiao to a small shack out back. She hesitantly knocked on the door and it swung open in an instant. A guy with a weird palm tree haircut jumped out of his skin. He was a notorious treasure thief, and seeing strangers at his door was never good news. Now he was absolutely certain this was the guy peddling all those strange, mysterious items. We are talking rare legends and unpredictable moves. The only way to track him down was through this specific quest triggered back in White Gull City. Suddenly the guy bolted, but a warning shot whistled right past his feet, stopping him dead in his tracks. Han Xiao snapped a threat. Freeze or keep running. The next bullet won't hit the dirt. The guy collapsed in total terror. You want to Jack's guys? Look, I will pay up after this job, I swear. Han Xiao sat across from him to clear up the confusion. I'm looking for something else. The guy just blinked at him. Like what? Han Xiao smirked and dropped a cryptic offer. I want in on this deal. The guy looked nervous, his eyes darting toward the floor. He had no clue why Han Xiao was helping. Scared of the gun, he reluctantly agreed, though he tried to act sincere about it. Duongthu sighed and officially welcomed him to the team. The second he finished speaking, a status window flashed in front of Han Xiao. You spent 2,000 experience points to start the quest. Return 10 antiques to Li Nui. Li Xin looked relieved. I'm counting on you both. She still had one major worry. Earlier, the Antique Museum asked my father to send 10 relics over for their new exhibition. Then my dad passed away. I tried to get them back, but they turned on me and tried to steal everything. Han Xiao threw an arm around Duongthu and laughed with pure confidence. Relax, we're getting your stuff back. Then he stood up suddenly serious. When do we move out? Duongthu followed him, trying to play nice. Whenever you're ready, I'm good to go. Even with a heavy hitter involved, money is still money. He nervously asked the big question, how exactly are we splitting the loot? Han Xiao generously announced, I don't need a cut. Let's just get moving. My time is limited, but he had a much bigger scheme. In his past life, a major guild hit an astronomical jackpot here and leveled up. Duongthu just stared when he heard he could keep all the rewards for himself. Wait, what? He had no idea Han Xiao was eyeing a much bigger prize. For now, every reward they found belonged to him. Late at night in White Gull City, a sleek black car pulled up right in front of the Antique Museum entrance. Han Xiao and Duongthu hopped out. Duongthu started sketching a plan saying, the museum has 3 floors. Here's the layout for our mission. But before he could finish, Han Xiao charged in. Duongthu watched in horror, shouting, wait! But it was too late. Han Xiao smashed the glass and bolted inside. Duongthu was speechless at this total loose cannon. What the hell are you doing? We were supposed to be stealthy. Han Xiao just smirked. Stealth is too slow. Get in here. Suddenly alarms blared and red lights began flashing everywhere. Instantly, a dozen guards with clubs came charging out screaming, Thief! Get them! Don't let them escape! The piercing alarms echoed through the halls. Flashing emergency lights glinted off the shattered glass scattered all over the cold museum floor. Han Xiao and Duongthu were hauling tail, clutching the loot as they scrambled to escape the building. Suddenly, a major annoyance appeared ahead. A pack of security guards was charging toward them, yelling, Where do you think you're going? Han Xiao turned to Duongthu with a devious glint in his eye and a totally wicked grin. Time for you to shine, buddy. He pointed at himself, completely baffled. Do I look like someone who actually knows how to fight? As the guards closed in, Han Xiao didn't hesitate. He kicked the guy right in the rear. He watched him fly forward with a truly evil smirk. Go get him. You have been powered up, the lead guard shouted to his men. Beat him down. The poor guy was panicking as a guard swung a heavy club, thumping him right on the head like a drum. Another guard rushed in for the kill. He grabbed onto Han Xiao's leg, crying out in pain. I can't do this. I'm not a fighter. Han Xiao looked at him with a mysterious air. Fine. I will teach you a secret spell that doubles your combat power. He sniffled, looking hopeful. For real? He was way too gullible. Han Xiao smirked. Just repeat after me. Duongthu got launched again by Han Xiao's heavy boot, flying straight toward the security guards for another round of being a human punching bag. Even a coward has his limits. He snatched a club from one of the guards and screamed, That is it! I'm taking you all down! Then came Duongthu's big revenge moment. Eat this! He yelled, landing a massive blow right into a guard's stomach. But his cool moment lasted 3 seconds before he got whacked from behind. He went right back to sobbing. I really can't do this. Boss, I am begging you. You have a gun, and you are actually good at fighting. Can't you just take care of them? Han Xiao gave the guy a cold kick to the rear and snapped, Begging won't help you. He picked his ear, joking. I am with you in spirit, dude. If you need it, I can even find you a girl. Realizing he couldn't count on this jerk, Duong Thu's eyes burned with pure hatred. Gritting his teeth, he grabbed an ancient vase that had its glass case smashed. Without a word, he slammed it hard against the head of the guy, beating him down. The security guard panicked, shouting, Hey, what are you doing? That is a priceless artifact. But Duong Thu did not care about history. He hurled the vase at the enemy, thinking, Screw it, I just need to get out of here alive. Duong Thu was huffing and puffing, totally drained. Suddenly, a police cruiser pulled up. His jaw hit the floor. Han Xiao spotted the heat and instantly fired up his mechanical skates to bail. Cops are here? Let's move. Duong Thu struggled to keep up, yelling, Wait for me. They bolted as the police car swerved into a high-speed chase. 2 more cars suddenly blocked their path, sending Han Xiao and Duong Thu into a panic. An officer aimed his gun, ordering them to freeze. Suddenly, a hand grabbed Duong Thu by his shirt collar. Han Xiao pressed a knife to his throat, playing the ultimate gangster. Drop your guns, I have a hostage. The officer stood frozen, looking like an idiot. What are you kidding me? He is your partner, you punk. Who are you trying to fool? Han Xiao pouted, looking disappointed. Man that failed Duong Thu escaped his grip and screamed right in his face. Did you actually think that would work? He replied coolly. Hey, worth a shot, right? Duong Thu was still freaking out. Now what? But Han Xiao just grabbed his hand, revved up his skates, and hauled him forward at top speed. Mission accomplished, time to vanish. They zipped through the police line, moving like a blur. The speed was insane. Duong Thu couldn't handle it and started blacking out from pure terror. Han Xiao dragged his unconscious luggage to a small dive bar. Inside, Huoshan was totally wasted, leaning on Hunter. Man, I have to be at Bureau 13 early tomorrow. I am dead tired. Hearing noise on the stairs, he turned to his partner. Hey, you feel like we are being followed? Hunter didn't feel a thing. Nah, you were just seeing things. You have had way too much to drink. He had no idea a pair of eyes was actually watching them. Over at the Bureau 13 branch, to drop a bombshell. Your 3 bodyguards. They're all dead. She pulled out the crime scene photos. Same wounds, a high-speed blade sliced right through them. Heart-pierced throats slit. She analyzed the scene coldly. No signs of a struggle. This assassin is on a whole different level. Moran scanned the reports and asked, Is there any security footage? Tato shook her head. No cameras nearby. The killer chose the spot perfectly. Someone's hand started shaking with rage. Wang Yun already had a name in mind. High-speed, perfect stealth, it had to be the hidden demon. Moran knew the guy. That famous superhuman assassin who could literally vanish into thin air. Bennett warned that the hidden demon was coming for the rest of the guards. Wang Yuan barked an order. Moran, tell everyone to gear up and meet now. He already had a rough idea of where everyone was. Golden Fox is at the hotel, but Mr. Black has disappeared. Ben muttered the hidden demon is a sniper's nightmare. Our guy might not survive this. Wang Yun closed his eyes to think, then finally made his move. Send a team to find him. The other guy sighed. We will do what we can. Meanwhile, at a forest cabin, Han Xiao checked his mission log. The quest was complete and the reward was massive. Not a bad haul. Duong Thu finally saw the monster within him and started shaking. I never want to see you again. He wandered the city streets, grinning while counting up his new fortune. Nice. 700,000 experience points banked. Suddenly, Han Xiao froze. 2 blades flashed from the shadows, but his light armor soaked the hit. He dropped his center of gravity and slid backward. He scanned the area, but there was nobody in sight. Han Xiao realized he was dealing with an invisible killer. He whipped out a pistol and fired a volley of shots, but hit nothing but air. The enemy was a ghost. He hissed through his teeth, too fast and invisible. Damn it, it is the hidden demon. Another attack came, but his insane reflexes allowed him to dodge the lethal strike. This was getting annoying. No choice, I have to flush him out. He released a swarm of mechanical bees. Electric stingers go. They swarmed the area, creating a grid of electricity that finally outlined the hidden demon's body. Realizing his cover was blown, the assassin kicked it into high gear. Han Xiao tracked the drone and let it rip, dumping lead while moving, but the guy dodged every single shot. He gritted his teeth. Man, this sucks. His reflexes are insane. He dodged everything, and now that hidden demon has its eyes locked right on my electric shock trap. With the distractions gone, the creep went back to using his stealth mode to sneak up and jump Han Xiao. Now he was actually ticked off. What a total pain. He seized a tiny opening to finally jam a fresh magazine in. Han Xiao went stone-faced and fired into the air, instantly kicking up a weird green mist. Right then, a notification popped up. You have been lightly poisoned. 3 health points gone every second for the next 60 seconds straight. Taking down this hidden demon was costing him big time. Think you can dodge? Let us see who has more health then. He kept firing, but the guy was too quick. He figured his high health and defense gave him an edge in this environment. Han Xiao locked his sights on one spot, knowing the demon was stuck. A shadow flickered into view, and he sent a bullet screaming right toward it. But it just ripped through empty air, leaving him totally frustrated. He missed the shot completely. Han Xiao did the math. If this kept up, the demon would just bail. He could not let him escape. He cooked up a plan. If he faked being overwhelmed by the poison and started running, the guy might actually take the bait and chase. No time to waste. He started faking it, acting like the demon's strikes were finally breaking him. The plan worked. The shadow blurred as it closed the gap, tailing him hard. Another brutal strike landed on his back, but his light armor soaked it up. Oaked. Even so, it still hurt. Han Xiao glanced at the alert. You have been attacked by a level 44 hidden demon. You lost 39 health points. Man, this guy hits hard and moves fast. If I did not have my magnetic armor, I would be dead in 10 seconds. Time for plan B. He kicked his hover skates into gear to outrun the next wave of attacks. Seeing the demon falling way behind, he felt pretty good. Perfect. No way that creep can keep up with these skates. If he just kept the skates at medium power, the demon could stay on his tail, but it would not be easy. While keeping his distance, Han Xiao made a quick call. Anton, do me a favor and bring my robot over here. He looked at the blurry shape behind him and smirked. Heck, keep chasing, buddy. You are dead meat soon. He suddenly ducked into an alley where a car was parked. Han Xiao frowned as he glanced back over his shoulder, feeling a bit confused. That heavy pressure from the demon just vanished into thin air, so he shut down his skates. He was not totally sure, but he figured the guy gave up. Too cautious. The night was late, and the stars were glowing bright above. A car pulled up on the side of the road. Anton finally arrived, giving him a skeptical look. Where's this enemy you were talking about? Han Xiao casually picked at his ear and replied, Gone. Let's head to the plane. I need to fix my gear and test out a new idea. He snapped back, annoyed. You think I'm just your personal driver? Han Xiao quickly smoothed it over. No way, man. You are overthinking it. Somewhere in a room, someone shouted in disbelief. A sniper who was not even scared of a hidden demon assassin. He actually forced that demon to back off. Bennett hurriedly asked, So where is he now? Tato reported that he was with the ferrying group waiting for their transport plane at the airport. Wang Yuan waved it off, suggesting he was just fixing his gear. Do not call him yet. Moran, have your people send a message. Tell Mr. Black to get back to the River Valley Manor by tomorrow morning. Moran followed orders immediately. The car from before was now parked right next to a massive transport plane. Inside the plane's cabin, Han Xiao was busy tinkering with his equipment. He sat in deep thought. Facing enemies level 40 and up meant his current machines just were not cutting it anymore. Electromagnetic kinetic weapons would do the trick, but he needed to master advanced electromagnetism first, and he was not there yet. He swiped his screen to check his potential points. He had 7 left. For his next move, he would have to try combining some incomplete blueprints. Han Xiao immediately tapped the accept button as soon as the notification popped up. Leveling up basic energy theory. To level 5 cost 1 potential point and 37,000 experience. He decided to upgrade his current knowledge first. A mysterious cube appeared, flashing a bunch of new information on his screen. With basic energy theory at level 5, he unlocked a new blueprint, the basic energy storage cube. Han Xiao could not hide his excitement. Making a power cube was a big win. He needed high-performance portable energy, and all his core skills were finally maxed out. He locked in fully prepared when someone suddenly walked up to him. It was Anton reporting back on that meeting from earlier. The guys from Division 13 were looking for you. Your boss changed the meeting time. Just be back at the River Valley Manor by morning. Han Xiao smirked, looking pretty satisfied with the news. Works for me, he thought. He pulled up more system menus dead set on finishing his gear upgrades tonight. But life has a way of slapping you. He kept messing up and every creation failed. DIY failure again. Han Xiao leaned on his hand, staring at the data. Looks like another all-nighter for me. Inside a massive fancy villa, the living room was packed with expensive old-school antiques. Wang Yun was talking business with the guy across from him. Senna already flagged every traitor in the ranks. This bait mission was a total win. Once we purged the rats, the organization could finally launch his big vision, but Bennett, he was not feeling it. I got a bad feeling war is coming back soon. We need to build a shelter and we need it fast. He was stressed about the current situation. The Darknet organization alone was not going to cut it. He needed more heavy hitters to join the squad. Wang Yun was not buying it. This plan is all win zero downside for us. The 6 nations will definitely sign on. I'm just worried about greedy snakes eyeing our resources. His brow was furrowed so tight it could probably crush a bug. This plan is about saving countless lives. If anyone dares to mess with it, I will personally kill them. Suddenly, lightning ripped through the sky outside. Both Wang Yuan and Bennett were totally stunned by the sight, because right out of a massive lightning bolt, Bai Qin came charging in covered in sparks. He flashed a smug grin at everyone. The quiet night was officially over, wrecked by the pouring rain and flashing lightning. Bai Qin's chest started glowing as he funneled energy into his palms. He blasted the iron gates wide open and strolled into the enemy base like he owned the place.